Okay, good evening. Okay. So today is the fifth day of the class, and what we have done so far, like I won't be drawing the graph that I have drawn for 4 weeks from today onwards. So since there are a few newcomers, I'll just mention them what we have done. Anyways, I'll be talking to them after the class. For the past 4 weeks, I have been doing basic mathematics function concepts. So what did I focus in there? Like I have mentioned, like in O levels, when you finish your O levels and when it comes to A levels, there is a small gap when you start A level mathematics. So that gap is only applied when you start A level mathematics, not when you're doing when you're doing A level biology or commerce or tech. It's the O level mathematical knowledge is more than enough. So to cover up that gap is what we did these basic mathematical concepts for 4 weeks. But new students, that's totally okay. We'll be starting the syllabus today, the very first lesson, and you can easily catch it. You can easily catch this lesson, no worries at all. And I'll talk to the newcomers later, so I'll tell them what they can do for this previous. It's not a lesson, it's like a foundation course that is preparing you for A level mathematics. That's all. But even though you don't do that, I won't say that you might find this hard. Clear? Okay. So we'll be starting the syllabus today, and from today onwards, we are having the class on this permanent time slot till I finish your syllabus in 2027. So this will be the permanent time slot. There won't be any change that the class will be shifted later. No, from 3 to 7 p.m. we will be doing this permanent time slot on Tuesdays. But since today is the election, I'll be finishing the class a bit early. Bit early means like 6:30, let's say. Okay, so if your parents are coming, when I give you the interval, you can inform them that the class might finish at 6:30, but there's a certain limit that I have in my mind. I have to do up to this point. So ask them if you want them to like either you can stay for half an hour and go at 7 o'clock when they come, or like if you want them to come, ask them to come by 6:30, but mention sir told that the class might finish by 6:30 because there is a possibility that the class will drag till 7 p.m. the normal time because there's a certain limit that I want to come up till today. So after covering that, then I'll finish the class. Okay. So when I give you the interval, if your parents are coming, කොල්ලෝ කියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ගෙවල් වලට එන්න කියලා තනියෙන් යන්නේ. Girls, especially when you want to, if you want to inform, you can inform them during your interval. Okay, so if you can remember, in the very first day, in the very first day of the class, we discussed about all the careers and avenues that you can pursue when you do maths. No, if you want to be engineer, you want to be architect, you want to be a physicist, you want to be a chemist, you want to go in the management side, law side. We have discussed every possible thing that you can do when you do maths. And then I discussed about the subject combination, mainly whether to do ICT or chemistry. So I have talked about that, and then about selecting classes. But even though we are doing combined maths, yet I didn't talk about combined maths. So today we'll be starting the syllabus, and the subject that we are doing, as you know, it's combined maths. So the basic meaning of combine is it's a combination of two or more components. No? So when we say the word combine, that means there is a combination of two or more components. Maybe 3, 4, but in our case, it's two components. So combined maths is a combination of pure maths, and applied maths. So it's a combination of pure maths and applied maths. And both these areas are equally balanced in the syllabus, where you get 50 marks for your pure maths and 50 marks for your applied maths, which gives you marks out of 100 in combined maths. So none of the areas is biased. Equally weighted areas for pure maths and applied maths. කියන දෙකම සමාන weight එකක් තියෙන. එක පැත්තකටවත් වැඩියෙන් pure වැඩියෙන් applied කියලා නැහැ. So when your parents were doing A levels, like you can ask your mother and father, they used to have 4 subjects. අම්මලා A level කරද්දී subjects 4ක් තිබ්බා. You can ask. There's no anyone's parents who did A levels after 2000. Is it possible? It's possible, no? How old are you? 17. That's possible, no? If your parents have done, I just didn't think about it. But if you're 17, Yeah, there is a high possibility of your parents doing A levels after 2000. Yeah, there's a high possibility. There should be in 2000. Yeah. So if your parents have done A levels before 2000, you can then තමයි තේරුනේ මොකද ඒ ක්ලාස් එකේ මොකුත් කිව්වේ නේ ඒක නිකම්ම කිව්වා when your parents are doing A levels කියලා. Yeah. Hands up whose parents did A levels after 2000? Not born in 2000. I mean did A levels in after 2000. Even I was born before 2000. So my children can't be in this class. No, even if I had children, my class, my children can't be here. I was not asking any parents who born after 2000, who did A levels after 2000. අම්මල 2000න් පස්සේ ඒල් කරා නම් අම්මල තාත්තලා කවුරුත් නැද්ද නෝ? But there is a possibility, no, because from 2000 it's 25. No? 2000 ඒල් කරා නම් මේ වෙද්දී අවුරුදු. You don't know the year parents did A levels නේ හරි හොඳයි. The thing is that you don't know the year that your parents are, like most probably every parent here should have done A levels after 2000 mathematically. Let's say your mother's age is 45. Let's say 42. 42 means she has done A levels 24 years back. So 24 years back means she has done A levels in 2001. So if your mother is 42 years, she has done A levels in 2001. Which means if your mother is like 40, she has done A levels in 2003. Which means basically you don't know the year that your parents has done A levels. Okay, so that is the conclusion. So like let's say anyways, when the A levels before 2000, there used to be 4 subjects. We had 4 subjects, not we, they had 4 subjects. So what are the 4 subjects in maths? It's physics, chemistry, and then we had applied maths and PO maths. Okay, clear. There used to be 4 subjects. Okay, so there has to be 4 subjects: PO maths, applied maths, chemistry, and physics. Even in biology stream, there has to be 4 subjects: chemistry, physics, zoology, and botany. Zoology is the study of is the science based on animals. Zoology, and botany is the we call a botanical garden is this one. So botany is the science based on plants. So after in there was educational reform in 1997. There was educational reform and they decided to reduce the number of A-level subjects from 4 to 3. From 4 to 3, it was reduced. The main reason was they have come up with a conclusion that the workload of an A-level student is high when they have 4 subjects, so they have brought down it into 3. So chemistry cannot be combined with either maths or physics. Physics cannot be combined, so chemistry came as chemistry. Some of the areas maybe, I'm not sure like whether they have taken out some of the areas, but physics came as physics. And then we have this PO maths and applied maths. No? So like if the intention of reducing the number of subjects from 4 to 3, if they just combine the PO maths and applied maths syllabus and then come up with combined maths, then there won't be any reduction of the workload. Again, PO maths again, applied maths again. If they introduce this combined maths, there won't be a reduction of the workload. So what did they do? They took around roughly 60% of this PO maths syllabus and 60% of this applied maths syllabus. So from the previous PO maths syllabus, they took like 60%, and in the applied maths syllabus, they took like 60%, and that combination, they brought this subject combined maths. So this is the subject that we are learning, and I have given the syllabus. If newcomers you can get it later. I'll give it to you. In that syllabus, they haven't mentioned PO maths or applied maths separately. What is the word that they are using? It's combined maths 1. It's combined maths 1 and combined maths 2. So what is the word that they are using? Combined maths 1 and combined maths 2. So there's no any topic in the A-level syllabus mentioned PO or applied. It's basically combined maths 1 and combined maths 2. So the structure of the paper is even the same. Structure of the paper in both cases is the same. You have 2 parts, part A and part B. In part A, you got 10 compulsory short questions. Like you can remember you had 30 short questions in your O-level maths paper, no? 25, how much? 20 or 25. So we have 10 short questions and each question carries 25 marks. Each section carries 25 marks, which gives you 250 marks. And then part B, there are 7 essay questions. Second part questions, there are 7 questions. Out of 7, you only have to answer 5. And each question gives you 150 marks. Each question gives you 150 marks, which gives a total of 750 marks. So you get 750 plus 250, you get 1000 marks for PO Maths. Same structure, you get 1000 marks for applied maths, and 1000 you get marks out of 2000 in combined maths, and it will be divided by 20. It will be divided by 20 to give you a mark out of 100. Clear? So your combined mark is out of 2000. You might think, okay, since like for example, one question consists of 150 marks, no? So then you might think like it's a disadvantage. But the main advantage of this is like think about you are not getting the final answer in your O-level maths paper, one of the questions. What you just do a simplification error and you don't get the answer. And let's say the total mark of that question is 10 marks. And if you don't get the final answer, normally you might get around 2-3 marks. No? Okay, අන්තිම උත්තරේ ඇවිල්ලා නැත්තම් කොහේ හරි වැරදිලා නම් අර ලකුණු 10ක් දෙන්න ඕනේ ප්‍රශ්නේ වාට ලකුණු 2-3ක් නේ දෙන්නේ. You might get like 2-3 marks. And there are some tutors who even put 0 if you don't have the final answer. බින්දුවම දාලා දානවා. But in A level, it is the other case. It's the other way. It's the other way. Even though, like, let's say you are doing the problem properly, you do it properly, but because of a simplification error, you don't get the final answer. වගේ මොන හරි simplification එකක් වැරදිච්ච ඉඳ ඔයාට අන්තිම උත්තරේ එන්නේ නැහැ. But still, you can take 8 out of 10 for that question. Because we have given marks for steps. So we have given marks for steps, not simplification steps, normal steps. So like if your logic is correct, if your thinking pattern is correct, if the way that you have thought about the question is correct, වගේ flow එක හරිනම්. If the flow is okay, the way that you have done the question is okay, then you can even have 8 marks out of 10. කියන්නේ ලකුණු 2-3 අඩු වෙන අන්තිම උත්තරේ ගත්තේ නැත. So that is the advantage of giving 150 marks. Let's say you don't get the final answer, but out of 150, you might end up with 120 marks. Throughout නැතිලා තියෙන 150 ලකුණු 30යි. 30 marks is out of 1000 or out of 2000. So out of 2000, වාට නැති වෙන්නේ ලකුණු 30යි. So when you divide it by 20, out of 100, it's just 1.5 marks. ඒ වගේම තමයි ලකුණු ගන්නත් අමාරුයි. ඒත් ඔය වගේම එකතු කරන් යන්න බෑ. ඔයා ලකුණු 100ක් ගත්තත් when it get divided by 20, only 5 marks are added. Same මේ ලකුණු අඩු වෙන්නෙත් අඩුවෙන්, ඒ වගේම ලකුණු වැඩි වෙන්නෙත් වැඩි. But this is our syllabus. It's nice. The things that I want to emphasize, I'll talk about the results in 2024 in the class results and all. Even in that, I'll just tell one story that why do I consider that you can do this. I'll like give example when I'm talking about the results later. But then you should realize that we are not learning rocket science. මේ අමාරු නෑ මේක මුලින් ඉඳන් කරගත්තාම වැඩේ කරගන්න පුළුවන්. And this is something doable. Taking a pass for combined maths is a highly doable thing. කරන්න පුළුවන්. Roughly around 2,500 students annually takes A passes for combined maths. 2500ක් කරන වැඩේ කියන්නේ කරන්න බැරි දෙයක්. Is it something like කරන්න බැරි දෙයක්? You can do it. Okay, so what do we want is, for now, what I expect from you is only these 3 factors. I don't expect you to go home and study till late night or ඔක්කොම කරලා pass papers කරලා. I don't expect that for now. You just started A levels, no? And your A levels is in 2027. So I only expect 3 factors from you if you want this properly to start doing this properly. First one is attend classes properly. හරියට class attend classes properly. If you won't be able to, if you miss a class, at least you need to attend online. If you won't be able to attend online, join online, at least watch the recording. So number one thing is attending classes properly. Number two is if I give some homework, I don't give homework daily, weekly, but I give homework sometimes. When I give homework, like complete the homework. That is the number two, the second one. Third one is we are having the class every Tuesday. No? So before coming to the class next Tuesday, at least in a Tuesday morning, Monday evening, go through the stuff that we have done in the previous week. That's all I expect from you for now. If you can continue this for like 3-4 months, and we will be having this small test, and then you will be grooming, and then you will realize, okay, how should I do this combined math subject? Because what I have seen from my experience is some of the students are just spending the first 1.5 years without knowing that what are they supposed to do in A-level science. මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා දන්නේ නැතුව අවුරුදු එකමාරක් විතර ඉන්නවා. කල අන්තිම අවුරුද්දේ තමයි රත් වෙන්නේ. They realize that they don't know anything, the where to start. So that's what I want. I don't expect you to go home කකුල් දෙක වතුරේ දාලා නිදි මරාගෙන වැඩ කරන්න හැමදාම ගානක් හදන්න. I don't expect that at all. And maybe there might be a contradiction between between what I am telling and some of the tutors are telling. But I'm talking with my experience, and I was like 10 years back at the same age, so I know how I was back then. I don't expect anyone to go home and study for late night these days. Okay, so only 3 factors for now. If you can continue that properly for 3-4 months, and at the end of every unit, we'll be having a unit test. So today we'll be starting polynomials. At the end of polynomials, I'll be having a polynomials unit test. So then you need to put an additional effort, and you need to study for that polynomials unit test. Clear? So then you will groom. Then you will realize, okay, this is how we have to do. So what are the 3 factors? Number 1 factor, what is it this side? Tell me what is the number 1 factor that I expect from you? Attend classes properly. If you miss the class, join the online class. Even if you are not possible to join online, watch the recording. Because nowadays there's no any possibility of missing a class. Okay, what is the second one? Second one I told you. Yeah, so there's no any particular order. So second or third one, what he said is remind and just go through, revise what we have done in the previous week, at least on Tuesday morning or Monday evening. Right? You can other head may remind revise and about Tuesday. Then by Tuesday you can't remember it. Like when you come to the class next week, you might feel like what you understood properly last week, you might feel it as rocket science. In Okay, what is the other factor that I told you? I don't give homework regularly, but if I give homework, make sure that you have to do that homework. And I give homework in a very fair manner, that I don't give this like a huge amount of workload to go home and complete them. I give homework in a reasonable way and reasonable manner. Clear? Okay, so the first lesson that we are starting today is polynomials, but polynomials is not the first lesson in the syllabus. But why do I select polynomials as the first lesson every time? Is because like the syllabus starts from a small lesson called numbers. Numbers is the first lesson, a 2-period lesson. Then we have functions. We have functions. But none of these lessons, you don't have any past paper question. I will be doing those lessons, okay? I'll be doing those lessons. But there are no any past paper questions from those areas. So that's why I'm doing polynomial first. So then we'll be start doing past papers from next week onwards. So when we are doing past papers, the past papers is the A-level standard questions that what you get for your A-levels, then you are getting your confidence, okay, you can do this. So we'll be doing problems. We'll be doing past paper questions from next week onwards. Then you will be having this confidence about the subject, because you know we'll be doing the 2024 question. Then you might go home and even say, if you have a brother or sister who's elder than you, today we did the 2024 past paper question. That A-level paper was in like just in last December. The results came recently, so that A-level paper was in last December. So if you after learning the lesson properly, if you are able to do the latest past papers, that means you are well in the standard. Clear? So that's why I'm selecting this lesson as the first lesson, but according to the syllabus, this is not the first lesson. I'll first do this and then come back to the order after giving you the confidence. Okay, put the main topic, the first lesson, polynomials. Polynomials. Silence. First topic, the main topic, polynomials. Polynomials. Okay, done. We know this in properly. So before moving on to polynomials, we need to understood what is a function. So I'm writing few expressions consist in a variable. So I'm writing few functions consist in a variable. Sorry, few expressions. I'm just writing okay. So I have written few expressions consist in variables or unknown terms. So these are variables. These are not equations. So what is the equation? If this one is equal to someone, then when this is equal to someone, then we call it as an equation. If not, this is an expression. This is an expression. Make equation එකක් වෙන්නේ මේක කාට හරි equal වෙනවා නම් විතරයි. Equal mark එකක් නැත්නම් අපි කියන්නේ equation එකක්. This is basically an expression. So I'm giving you the simplest meaning of a function. අපි function එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා කියන්නේ? An expression consisting of variables is what do we call as a function. පළවෙනි එක අපි බලන්න ඕනේ polynomials වල කලින් function එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? So what is a function? An expression consisting of variables. පැහැදිලි clear? An expression consists in variables. So these are functions. So all these are functions. So how do we denote a function? අපි කොහොමද function එකක් කියලා පෙන්නන්නේ? How do we denote a function? Is in this way. We normally use the f ma වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, and we are putting the variable here. So fx is the function. So fx, so this is the notation of a function. Denote කරන්න මෙහෙමයි. Not only f, you can use any letter. You can use gx. You can use px, you can use any letter. But what is the notation? This f, letter f, is the function, and x is the variable. Again, මෙතනට අපි දාන්න අපි use කරලා තියෙන variable එක. So මෙතනට දාන්න අපි use කරලා තියෙන variable එක. Okay, so here it's f for function. ඒ කියන්නේ g වලට ආවම junction, j ආවම junction නෙමෙයි. Not in that way. So this letter, like it's basically what the way that we denote a function. So here the function is f. Function is f. Function is g. Function is p. Clear? So here inside we are putting the letter, the variable that we have used. So let's say if in this case, I'm going to write the function f, but tell me what is the letter that I need to put inside the brackets. It's y because it's a function of y. In this case, if I write it as f, so what is the letter that I'm supposed to put? It's m, fm. So function is normally denoted in this way. We put a letter. It can be capital, simple, it's okay. But the variable here is the variable that we have written the function. Clear? So what is a function? An expression consisting of variables is a function. And what is the notation of the function? With this one, and we are putting the variable here. So this is the function, and this is the variable inside. Clear? And let's say we have a function in this way, like a function or a variable එකක්ම ඉන්න ඕනේ කියලා නෑ. Let's say your function is x squared plus xy. xy දෙන්නම ඉන්නවා කියලා කියන්නකෝ. You got 2x and y. So then we write it as we have two variables f, x, y. Simple. පොඩි දේවල්. හරි පොඩි දේවල්. So these are functions. So function is an expression that consists of variables. So tell me what is the first letter that comes to your mind when we are talking about a variable? What is the first letter that comes to your mind when we're talking about a variable? X නේ ගන්න මොන අපි මොනහරි කිව්ව ගමන් ආයෙක x කියලා ගමු කියලා. So that is not a rule. Variable එකක් x බ වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා, it's not a rule. So that is the first thing that comes to your mind. Even that is what is the meaning of x-ray? X-ray එක දන්නවනේ. X-ray gun, ata kaddam X-ray gun. So what is that? It's X-ray, no? So it's X-ray, yeah? Some say it as X-ray. Tray එකක් නැහැ මෙතන. It's X-ray. So what, like, some things that X stands for something. No, X stands for nothing. X is what happened when this was founded by Wilhelm Röntgen in 1901. So when he discovers these rays, so what happened? He saw some unknown rays. දන්නේ නැති rays ටිකක් හම්බුණා. So since he doesn't know what kind of rays is this, he named it. Okay, let's say this is X-ray, and still it's X-ray. Okay, that's the name. So that's like we have other rays, no, ultraviolet, infrared. So we have rays, no, but in this one it's X-ray because that was given the name by him. I don't know this ray. This is previously I haven't seen this ray. So let's take it as X-ray, and that is what still they call as X-ray. Clear? And it's not X-ray, yeah? X-ray එකක් ගන්න නෑ. We take X-ray. X-ray. So being back to the lesson, what is a function? When an expression consists of variables is what we call as a function. It's denoted in this way. This is the function. This is the variable. Okay, write in this way. Write in this way. A mathematical expression consists in variables. A mathematical expression consists in variables is known as a write in a red pen, function is known as a function. Is known as a function. A function is denoted. A function is denoted in the following manner. A function is denoted in the following manner. Is denoted in the following. Okay, write this. Fx and another example gy. So here x and y are the variables that we have used. So let us fg represent the function. Let us f and g represent the function. Just write this. Okay. Okay, then write these examples. You don't have to write the exact coefficients and powers. Just write some examples. ඕකම ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මේක 6ම වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Just put freely write some examples. Freely write some examples. It's okay if it is different coefficients. Okay, so write few examples of functions. So these are functions. A mathematical expression consisting of variables is what we call as a function. Okay. Okay, now from functions, let's move on to the specific topic. It's polynomials or polynomial functions. So what is a polynomial? If a function only consists of positive integral powers. If a function only consists of positive integral powers, we call it as a polynomial. Again, function එකේ තියෙන්නේ කියන්නේ power එකට ඉන්නේ positive integers විතරයි නම් අපි යාට කියනවා ඒක polynomial එකක් කියලා. It's a polynomial. So in this case, these all are, and there can be constants. Constants ඉන්න පුළුවන්. There can be constants. So these we have positive integers. So this is a polynomial. This is a polynomial. It's a polynomial. This case, all are positive integers. A constant can be there. So it's a polynomial. It's a polynomial. Even this one, all positive integers. The powers are positive integers. So it's a polynomial. But in this case, we have a root, no? So a square root means what is the power that we are denoted by square root? It's half power. But only we can consider integers, no? Only integers, only positive integral powers. Which means, tell me, is this a polynomial or not a polynomial? I need answers. Tell me, is this a polynomial or not a polynomial? It's not a polynomial. Because here, it's x to the power half. It's not a polynomial. Not a polynomial. The reason, it's not a positive integral power. Okay, this one, tell me whether this is a polynomial or not. This one, hands up if you are telling yes, this is a polynomial. No one. Hands up if like you have to lift your hands or eat the answers, one of the answers. Tell me if you are telling this is a polynomial. 2, 3. Hands up if you are telling this is not a polynomial. Why is it not a polynomial? We have 1 over y. What is 1 over y if we write it as a power? Y to the power minus 1. So minus 1 is not a positive integer, which means this is not a polynomial. Clear? So this is not a polynomial. This is not a polynomial. The reason is we got x to the y to the power minus 1. So these are negative integers. Here, no reason. Okay, here it's just 1. So here it's a polynomial. And in the final one is even a polynomial. So I'll just take out this final one because we are not discussing about these kind of polynomials where we have two variables. So I'll just take it out, okay? Because if I write this and name it as a polynomial, there might be a mathematical error since we are not discussing about those functions in our syllabus. So I'll just take it out. So I'll just limit every function to one variable. So again, being simple, if the function only consists with positive integral powers and there can be constant, we call it as a polynomial. Clear? I know this is sleeping time. If you are at home, what you will be doing at this time? What will you do when if you at home? කාලා එක්ක ෆෝන් එක බලනවා එක්ක ටීවී සීරීස් එකක් බලනවා එක්ක නිදා ගන්න ඔය ටික සෙල්ලම් කරන්න යනවා you go out and play ඒ ටික කරන්නේ you don't do anything. So I know this is a sleepy time. එහෙමයි කියලා අපිට නිදා ගන්න බෑ. මේක නිදා ගන්න බෑ. Like in my Sinhala medium classes even in those classes I don't let students to sleep. But if I see a student is very sleepy, I just let him to stay in that way. මොනවද පවුනේ කියලා ඉන්න දෙනවා. But in this class, I don't have that ethical right. Make ගණන් වැඩිනේ. So I know like if you looking at someone, if he's sleepy, I know that he is paying this much. He is paying this much and coming here to sleep. Okay, so I want like let students to sleep. නිදිමතයි නම් look at me. මාතෝ ආදියා බලන් ඉන්න. I'll give a good eye contact. Then you look at me, then නිදිමත යනවා. Okay, so I mentioned if I'm giving a unusual eye contact to one of you, that means that I have noticed that you are sleepy. වෙන දෙයක් නෙමෙයි, yeah? Clear? If I give you unusual eye contact, ළඟ ඉන්න එකට කියන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් බලන් ඉන්නවනේ මම. Okay, nothing unusual, but only reason why I have noticed that you are sleepy. Okay, write in this way. If a function only consists of if a function only consists of positive integral powers of the variable, and constants, it is known as a, write in red pen, polynomial function. It is known as a polynomial function. It is known as a polynomial function. Okay. Write these examples again and mention whether it's a polynomial or not. So this is not a polynomial because it's a half power. And this is not a polynomial because it's a negative power. So we only consider positive powers to be positive integral powers to be polynomials. Okay. Okay. So here we, we have to learn a few terms related to polynomials. This highest power of a polynomial. The highest power of a polynomial is termed as the degree of the polynomial. The highest power of a polynomial is termed as a degree. We name that polynomial based, we categorize the polynomial based on the degree. Again, අපි polynomials categorize කරන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ degree එකෙන්. So make this one is the highest power is x to the power 4. The highest power is 4. So here the degree is 4. The degree is 4. We categorize this as a fourth degree polynomial. Clear? We categorize this as a fourth degree polynomial. So we use the degree of the polynomial. We use the degree of the polynomial to name polynomial, to categorize, not to name, to categorize polynomials. So if the degree is 4, it's a fourth degree polynomial. If the degree is 3, it's a third degree, fifth degree, second degree, first degree polynomial. So what is the degree? A degree is the highest power of a polynomial. Clear? It's the highest power. And then, so these are basic terms. This, the term with the highest power, the term with the highest power is the leading term of the polynomial. ඒ කියන්නේ අර highest power එක ඒ කියන්නේ degree එක තියෙන term එක we call it as the leading term. So that's the leading term. So මේවා these are just basic names. හරිද? මම මොකොත් නෙමෙයි. ටෙක් ඔලුවට දාගන්න basic names. So there's a degree. The term with the highest power is the leading term. Now then tell me what is the coefficient of the leading term? What is the coefficient of the leading term? It's the leading coefficient. It's the leading coefficient. The coefficient of the leading term is the leading coefficient. Leading coefficient. So keeping things simple, the degree is the highest power. Degree is the highest power of a polynomial. Based on the degree, we categorize the polynomial. This is a fourth degree polynomial. And then the term with the highest power is the leading term. And the coefficient of that term is the leading coefficient. Clear? Okay, write the topic degree of a polynomial. Okay, degree of a polynomial. Degree of a polynomial. Okay, write in this way. The highest power of a polynomial, the highest power of a polynomial, highest power of a polynomial is known as the, write these words using a black pen. When I say degree leading two terms, write them using black pens. The highest power of a polynomial is known as the degree of the polynomial. So only use a black pen to write that word. Degree of the polynomial. Degree of the polynomial. Polynomials are categorized. Polynomials are categorized based on their degrees. Based on the degrees. Based on the degrees. Based on the degrees. Okay, next line. Next line. The term with the highest power, the term with the highest power The term with the highest power is the black pen leading term is the leading term of the polynomial is the leading term of the polynomial and and its coefficient and its coefficient and its coefficient is the leading coefficient. Black pen is the leading coefficient and its coefficient is the leading coefficient. The highest power එක තියෙන එක leading term එක එයාගේ coefficient එක leading coefficient එක. Write this example. So this is the degree. So in this case the degree is 4. So we name the polynomial, categorize the polynomial based on the degree. So here it's a 4th degree polynomial. Okay. Write the subtopic general polynomials. Write the subtopic general polynomials. General polynomials. Okay, so what is meant by a general polynomial? When the degree of a polynomial has been given, if we can write the polynomial in a general manner, so that's what we call as a general polynomial. Again, අපිට degree එක දුන්නාම polynomial එක නිකන් general විදිහට ලියන්න පුළුවන් නම්, ඒ කියන්නේ general කියන්නේ නිකන් common විදිහට ලියන්න පුළුවන් නම්, so that's the general polynomial. For example, let's say if the degree of a polynomial is 1. Let's say the degree of a polynomial is 1. So degree is 1 means what is the highest power? What is the highest power? It's 1. So highest power is 1 means we have x, no? We have x. But I know there can be a coefficient. The coefficient may be 1, 2, minus 2. There can be a coefficient. So our coefficient in general, how can we write it? So I'm putting it ax. So a can be any coefficient. A can be 2, a can be 3, 4, 700, any coefficient. Ax. But there can be a constant. So that means I'm writing it plus b. Because there can be a constant. So this is what we call as a general polynomial. I know you didn't understood it yet, but you might understood when I take the next one. So now if the degree is 2, if it is a second degree polynomial, what is the highest power? It's 2. No? So the term is x squared, which means we have x squared. But we are writing in general. අපි ලියන්නේ in general. කියන්නේ ඕන එකකට හරියන එක අපි ලියන්නේ. So ඕන එකකට හරියන එක ලියනවා නම් that means the coefficient changes. The coefficient can be 3, minus 1, any coefficient. So in general, we are taking the coefficient as a. Clear? So it's a. So x squared is the highest one. That is clear. There can be x terms. No? There can be x terms in the Buduan. Okay, then I'm writing as bx. And there can be a constant. So I'm writing as c. So when I'm talking about a second degree polynomial, the degree is 2. And there can be x terms and there can be constants. Clear? So this is the general format. Okay, now tell me, what is the general polynomial if the degree is 3? So what is the general polynomial? Tell me. Ax and ax cube plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Okay, so that is the general format, general polynomial when the degree is 3. Okay, now tell me, what is the general polynomial when the degree is 4? Then what is the general polynomial? Tell me. Ax to the power 4 bx cube cx squared dx plus e. So this is the general format of a polynomial. So let's say, what is the general format of a 10th degree polynomial? Degree එක 10 වුණාම කොහොමද පටන් ගන්න? Ax 10 ඔක්කොම කියන්න ඕනේ. Ax 10 bx 9 cx8 or with it continues. Clear? So a 26th degree polynomial, how does it starts? Ax to the power 26, bx 25, it reduces. Clear? So this is the general format. Okay. If I go to the beginning, think what is the general polynomial if the degree is 0? So now we can identify something. So if the degree is 0, if we write it in the same way, it's ax to the power 0. No. But what is x to the power 0? It's 1. Now that means x to the power 0, 1. So here it's basically 1. So we say a 0 degree polynomial means a constant. There are no any x terms. It's a constant. 0 degree polynomial is a constant. Clear? A 0 degree polynomial is a constant. So this is the way that we write general polynomial. So if they give us the degree, we can write the general polynomial. Starts from this one. But in this case, if the degree is 1, there should be ax for sure. Anivaram ax innone. If the degree is 2, there should be x squared. 3, there should be x cubed. 4, there should be x4. 8 anivaram innone. But these are not compulsory terms. These are optional. These are optional. B hitiyat ekai nadath ekai. Cx plus d can be there. And it might not be there. For example, I'm writing 4 polynomials. X squared plus x plus 3. X squared minus 7x. 2x squared plus 1. And I'm writing x squared. Okay, now tell me, what is the degree of this polynomial? I need everyone to answer. Like we have like a good 50 students. So if the 50 students like answer in a normal volume, like panas denama mehema kiwot. So what is the degree? If you say okay, 1, 2, 3. So that is like more than enough. I want to do this class in interactive way. So I need answers. So I'm doing my teaching based on your emotions and your response. If I feel like Teruna Madi, I repeat it. So like even when you understand, if you stay like, then I think that you haven't understood it. So I look at phases. If I see a majority of phases are like a bit uncertain and having a doubt, I might repeat it. But if you understand, if you stay in that way, like then my reading is that one. I can't filter. But make hita kiyawanna bෑ. Mata මොකද්ද parachitta. What is the අනිත් අය හිත කියවන මොකද්ද parachitta විඤ්ඤාණ මොකද්ද තියෙනවනේ. I don't have that one. I can just look at you and then read, okay, he's thinking about this one. I am just reading the phases. Clear? Okay, so now tell me, what is the degree of this one? Kian, what is the degree of this one? 2. This one? This one? Here? So it's clear. So what is the compulsory term if the degree is 2x squared? X constants can be there and it might not be there. That's okay. So in these terms, these are the compulsory terms. So that's why we say that A can't be equal to 0. Because if A becomes 0, there's no any term like this. Now what is the degree of this one? Now what is the degree of the remaining part? It's degree 1. It's a first degree polynomial. So A can't be 0. A to bindu enna bෑ. Me ඕන එකකට bindu enna පුළුවන්. Clear? So in this one, talking about this example, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C is equal to 3. This one, A is equal to 1, B is equal to minus 7. There's no any constant, which means C is equal to 0. Okay, this one, what is A? 2. What is B? There's no B. What is B? There's no any X here. Which means what is B? 0. What is C? It's 1. So in this case, A is 1. Both B and C are 0. So like what is the compulsory term is the term with the highest power. That is compulsory. But others can be there and might not be there. That is okay. The best example, in all these 4 polynomials, the degree is 2. In all these four polynomials, the degree is 2. Okay. So write in this way. Write in this way. When the degree of a polynomial has been given, when the degree of a polynomial has been given, when the degree of a polynomial has been given, we can write the polynomial, in general, we can write the polynomial in general in the following manner. We can write the polynomial in general in the following manner. In the following manner. Okay, then write these 5 polynomials and name these as a is not equal to 0. Name this as a is not equal to 0. A is not equal to 0, and then write this example. So in all these examples, all these polynomials, the degree is 2. So in all these examples, the degree is 2. All these functions, the degree is 2. In this case, we both have x and constants, only the x terms, only the constant, but here there are none of them. But still, there is x squared, which means the degree is 2. Okay, write a small topic, not a main topic. Similarity of two polynomials. Similarity of two polynomials. Similarity of two polynomials. Okay. So here we are talking about two polynomials are being equal. ඒ කියන්නේ polynomials දෙකක් equal වෙන එක ගැන similar වෙන එක ගැන අපි කතා කරන්නේ. So we are having two polynomials are equal. So there are two conditions that should be satisfied. If the polynomials are equal, there should be two conditions satisfied. ඒ කියන්නේ polynomials දෙකක් equal වෙන්න reasons දෙකක් තියෙනවා. The first reason is, I told you, they categorize polynomials based on the degree. කියන්නේ degree එකෙන් ඒගොල්ලෝ categorize කරන්නේ. Have you seen ඔයගොල්ලෝ අර martial arts මොන හරි දැකලා තියෙනවද? Boxing, karate, kung fu නෑ. I'll just boxing, karate, or wrestling කියන්නේ WWE SmackDown නෙමෙයි. හරි Olympic wrestling, judo ඔය බලද්දි දැකලා තියෙනවද? එන්න මහතෙක් කෙනෙකුයි කෙට්ටු එක්කෙනෙකුයි ගහ ගන්න දැකලා තියෙනවද in boxing? At least even in MMA, have you seen that? එන මහතෙක් කෙනෙකුයි කෙට්ටු එක්කෙනෙකුයි ගහ නැහැ. එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ. Because if that happens, that is a massive advantage to the one who is having a massive body. His strength is an advantage. එහෙම ගහන්නේ නැහැ. So we are having these weight classes. No? Where hammer fighting sport එක්කම there is a weight class. Hammer fighting sport එක්කම there is a weight class. Like 60 to 65. 65 to 70. Featherweight, lightweight, heavyweight. So there are weight classes. So same here. So there are categories. So I told you there are categories and we are having polynomials. So if the two polynomials are equal, the number one condition is that the two degrees should be equal. The number one thing is the two degrees should be equal. If not, they are not equal. If not, you can't make two polynomials equal. A second one, okay, now let's say we are having two polynomials with the same degree. I'm having two polynomials with the same degree. I even here the degree is 2. Maybe the degree degai. Even here the degree is 2. Even in this one the degree is 2. The next condition is when the degrees are equal, the corresponding coefficients should be equal. Corresponding coefficients can may පැත්තේ x squared ki coefficient එකයි may පැත්තේ x squared ki coefficient එකයි. That should be equal. Corresponding, you have heard that word before, no? When we are showing the congruency of the triangles, you write corresponding sides are equal. Corresponding angles are equal, which means the coefficient of x squared here and the coefficient of x squared. So that's why we term it as corresponding coefficients. So if you consider x squared, the two coefficients are equal. A is equal to P. When you consider x, B is equal to Q. And when you consider the constant C is equal to R. C is equal to R. So it's C is equal to R. Clear? Okay. So this is what we get when we consider the corresponding coefficients. Okay, hands up if that one is clear. The similarity of two polynomials. So what are the two conditions? What is the first condition? This side. Tell me what is the first condition if two polynomials are equal? The two degrees should be equal. If the two degrees are equal, then what should happen? The corresponding coefficient should be equal. Okay, write in this way. If two polynomials are equal, 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 the following two conditions, the following two conditions should be satisfied. The following two conditions should be satisfied. Under that, number one, the degrees of the polynomial, the degrees of the polynomial should be equal. Polynomials, the degrees of the polynomials should be equal. The degrees of the polynomial should be equal. The second one, the corresponding coefficients, corresponding coefficients should be equal. Corresponding coefficients should be equal. Okay, then write in this way. If look at the board. So if ix squared plus bx plus c is equal to px squared plus qx plus r. If, click continue, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to px squared plus qx plus r. Then show that the degrees are 2. Show that the both degrees are 2. Show that the both degrees are 2. Okay. And then you can write this. If x squared I is equal to p, b is equal to q, c is equal to r. Corresponding coefficients are equal. Okay. So in this example, you can see the degrees are equal. Degrees are equal. Then the corresponding coefficient should be equal. So if you consider the corresponding coefficients x squared, here it's a is equal to 2. If you consider x, here it's c is equal to minus 3. And if you consider the constant, you can write just cons. If you consider the constant, here the constant is b, it's equal to 1. Clear? So you can find coefficients, constants using this way. Okay, write this example, small stuff, really small things. Write this example. Okay. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute, drink some water. Drink some water. Okay. Okay, now look at the tude, question number 1. In the first page, look at question number 1. Silence. Katana, very good. Look at question number 1 in the tune that you got today. Polynomials, everyone have got the tune. Silence, silence. Eh? I'll be giving the mic if you want to talk. Huh? Because I'm the only speaker here. No anyone, no any other speakers. Okay. So this one, what is the question? Find the constants such that the following relations are satisfied. So we are supposed to find the constants A and B such that the following relations are satisfied. Can be A, B, හොයන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේ polynomials දෙක equal වෙන විදිහට. So they have given that the polynomials are equal. Okay. So there are two ways that you can do this. I'll be explaining and teaching both the methods. So in the first thing that you can do this in this way. So we know like the degree here is 1 and even here we only can see x terms. No. You only can see x terms here, which means the degrees are equal. Make it degree 1, make it degree 1. That is correct. But there is a small issue, like the first one is we have to check whether the degrees are equal. The second one, when the degrees are equal, who are equal? The corresponding coefficients. You know the coefficient of x here is 5. But if I ask you what is the coefficient of x in this side, you are not able to answer it at once. You can't answer it. The reason is you can see x terms in 2 places and maybe 3 places. So what is the first thing that you have to do? You have to rearrange this polynomial. Ax plus a, bx minus b. And then you have the 2x terms. It's a plus b times x plus a minus b. Okay, now it is clear. You can clearly see the degree here is 1. The degree here is 1. The degree here is 1 and even the degree here is 1. Both the degrees are equal. Then the corresponding coefficient should be equal. Which means x, if you consider x, so here it's a plus b is equal to 5. And if you consider the constant, what is the constant here? A minus b. What is the constant here? It's equal to minus 4. And now you get 2 simultaneous equations. So that's why I told you, in O-levels, simultaneous equation was a separate lesson with a separate question. O-levels වල අර තිබ්බනේ වෙනම ප්‍රශ්නයක් simultaneous equations. ලකුණු 10ක් විතර දීපු. Can you remember when we were doing simultaneous equations, I told you, in A-level, simultaneous equations is not a separate question. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක වෙනම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙමෙයි. Inside a question, we meet simultaneous equations. ඒ කියන්නේ වෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇතුලේ ඒක simplify කරද්දී ඒක solve කරද්දී මට හම්බ වෙනවා simultaneous equations. I get simultaneous equations. So you have to find A and B. මේක හොයන විදිහ ඔයා මට කියලා දෙයි. You can do that. Okay, so I'm asking you to find A and B. So how you can simply do this is you can add these two, which gives you A plus B, I minus B is equal to 5 minus 1, which means 2A is equal to 4 and A is equal to 2. And then you can find B if you put this to the first one. 2 plus B is equal to 5. B is equal to 5 minus 2, which gives you B is equal to 3. So this is the first method. We name this method as comparing coefficients because you are comparing the coefficients. You are considering that the corresponding coefficients are equal. So this method is known as comparing coefficients. We have two methods. Clear? So what you have to do, first rearrange the polynomial and then make the corresponding coefficients equal. And then you get a set of simultaneous equations. You can solve it. Okay, hands up if this is clear. Okay, good. Write in just put, just write it. No any topics. Write this. No topic. Just write this. When we have to find constants, such that two polynomials are equal, such that two polynomials are equal. Two polynomials are equal. It can be done in two ways, two methods. It can be done in two methods. It can be done in two methods. Okay, so then and I write the first one using a black pen. Using a black pen, write the first one. First one, comparing coefficients method. Comparing coefficient method. Comparing coefficient method. First one is called comparing coefficient method. Okay. Okay, under that write normal pen. So write just in a black pen comparing coefficient method, then in a normal pen. Here, here, we will be rearranging the polynomial. We will be rearranging the polynomial. Here, we will be rearranging the polynomial and consider the equality of corresponding coefficients. If you want any help, you can look at the board. And consider the equality of corresponding coefficients. Equality of corresponding coefficients. Okay. Okay, do this one and then do the second one and the third one alone. Do the first one, just get a help from the board and do the remaining simplifications alone. And then do question number 2 and 3. If you get fractional answers, keep that in that way. If you get fractional answers, you don't have to simplify and keep it as decimal places. Just keep it in that way. If you get fractional answers, again fractions, just keep that in that way. Decimal convert karandu. Because in A levels, fractions can be kept as final answers. Okay, so second one, it's 2x plus 3. And then I have ax plus 2a plus bx minus 4b. So what happens here is we have ax and bx. No? So we have ax and bx. So out of these two, x is common. So I'm taking a plus bx. So out of these two, x is common. So that's how we get a plus bx. And then the remaining constant is 2a minus 4b, which is equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, now consider the corresponding coefficients from x. I get a plus b is equal to 2. And from the constant, you can write CONS like the short form. It's 2a minus 4b is equal to 3. So you get two simultaneous equations, and now you know to solve simultaneous equations. So how can you solve this? You can multiply the first one by 4, which gives you 4a plus 4b is equal to 8. And I have minus 4b plus 4b, so I'm adding the second one and the third one, which means 2a minus 4b plus 4a plus 4b is equal to 3 plus 8. A 4b cancel off, 6a is equal to 11, which means a is equal to 11 over 6. So that's why I told you, when you get fractions, just keep it in that format. You don't have to convert into decimals. Decimals will have one, don't they? From the first one, you get a is 11 over 6 plus b is equal to 2. B is equal to 2 minus 11 over 6. If you take 6 as the common denominator, it's 12 minus 11 over 6. You get the answer. B is equal to 1 over 6. You get the answer. B is equal to 1 over 6. Clear? Okay, hands up got answers. A equals 11 over 6 and B equals 1 over 6. May they get okay. So if you haven't, like if you have done any mistakes, do the third one properly. Make it third do it correctly. If you have done any mistakes, do the third one properly. So after writing these comparing coefficients, then it is a matter of simplification. Then it is a matter of simplification. The third one first rearrange 6x minus 2. So then it's equal to ax plus 3a plus bx minus 5b. Clear? The 6x minus 2 is equal, if you take this ax and bx, it's a plus bx. If you take this 3a minus and it's 3a minus 5b. So then you can compare the coefficients. When you compare x, a plus b is equal to 6. And if you consider the constant, 3a minus 5b, 3a minus 5b is equal to minus 2. Is equal to minus 2. Clear? Okay, then you can simplify this. You have minus 5b, so I'm multiplying the first one by 5. Make an unknown. Because like you have to understand, after this part, it's your O-level maths knowledge. Simplifying simultaneous equations. No? So what we learn today is if you have in this way, you can make the corresponding coefficients equal. Then this O-level maths. Okay. So when you multiply this by 5, you get 5a plus 5b is equal to 30. 5a plus 5b is equal to 30. You can do the simplification. Okay, so here we have minus 5b and plus 5b. So when you add the second one and the third one, it's 3a minus 5b plus 5a plus 5b is equal to minus 2 plus 30. So 5b cancel off, it's 8a equal to 28. So a is equal to 28 over 8. So there's a small simplification. There are 7 fours and here there are 2 fours. Hatareba, hatai, hatareba degai. So keep your final answer as a is equal to 7 over 2. Make a 3.5 just keep it as 7 over 2. Okay, hands up. Question number 3. Who got a is equal to 7 over 2? Okay, but there are a few who are not getting answers. Like look at the simplification. Make a thing, make it like after writing these two, it's a matter of simplifying simultaneous equation. It's your O-levels. We have revised those, but you should be able to do it. Then after it's like simultaneous equation. And you have taken A, then you can take B. From the first one, A is 7 over 2 plus B is equal to 6. B is equal to 6 minus 7 over 2. So if you take B, 2 as the common denominator, it's 12 minus 7. No? So B becomes 5 over 2. So A becomes 7 over 2 and B becomes 5 over 2. But if you haven't taken the answers, just try to do it alone. Simplifications. So let's do, I'll give an additional one. Make a panti mode answer. Everyone should get the answer here. Find this 3x minus 3 is equal to a times x minus 2 plus b times x plus 1. Okay, get this? So here I need everyone to get the answers. 3x minus 3 is equal to a times x minus 2, b times x plus 1. Okay, so 3x minus 3 is equal to ax minus 2a. Evening very plus bx plus b. So if you separate x, here you have a plus b times x minus 2a plus b. So the constant is minus 2a plus b. Then if you consider the coefficient of x, it's a plus b, which is equal to 3. And what is the constant? The constant is minus 2a plus b. It's equal to minus 3. So you can see b and b. So I'm going to consider 1 minus 2. A plus b. A minus, I told you, when there's a minus, always put brackets. Minus 2a plus b is equal to 3 minus minus 3. So a plus b minus minus becomes plus 2a minus b is equal to 3 plus 3. So b cancel off. I'm getting 3a is equal to 6, which means a is equal to 2. I'm getting the answer a is equal to 2. So when you substitute it to 1, 2 plus b is equal to 3. 2 plus b is equal to 3, which means b is equal to 3 minus 2. So b gives you 1. So I'm getting the answers a equals 2 and b equals 1. Okay, hands up who got answers a equals 2, b equals 1. Good. Okay, now do the fourth question. Same thing. Rearrange it properly and then compare the coefficients. Do the fourth one. So same thing. First you have to rearrange this. So you can see here's the difference of 2 squares. So x minus 1, x plus 1 is the difference of 2 squares. So you get x squared minus 1. You get the same answer even if you simplify taking the brackets out. Plus bx minus b. So then we have ax squared minus a plus bx minus b. So then you got 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equal to ax squared plus bx. And if you take the constant, it's minus a minus b. So even here you don't get simultaneous equations. Simply if you consider the coefficient of x squared, here it's a and here it's 2. So a is equal to 2. If you consider the x coefficient, here it's b, here it's 3. So a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3. Clear? Hands up who got a equals 2 and b equals 3. Okay. So here, like if you look at the constant, look, a is 2 and b is 3. You know. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. Minus 2 minus 3 is even minus 5. So here is even not simultaneous equations. What you have to do is compare x squared, compare x. Okay, now we were discussing about this first method of comparing coefficients. Okay, write number 2 using a black pen. The second method, you put number 2 using a black pen. Write this substituting values. The second method, substituting values. Substituting values or substitution of values. Okay, so this is the second method. Substituting values or substitution of values. Okay, now listen properly. Look at the board. The boarding bar, those are finished. So that one is okay. You have to simplify, rearrange, and then consider the coefficients. Okay. This one, You don't have to rearrange it. Make a body lazy at you don't have to simplify and you don't have to rearrange this. So what can you do is you have to substitute a value for x or x වලට මොන හරි value එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ. Then let's consider about this one. You have to put a value to x such that this becomes 0. You have to think about a value that you can put to x such that this one or this one is equal to 0. Okay, now tell me in here, what is the value that we can put to x if this becomes 0? X equals 1. So that's why the topic is substitution of values. I substitute values. So values දානවා. So in this one, I'm putting x equals 1. So when x equals 1, you have to substitute x equals 1 to every place that you got x. X in හැමතැනටම එක වෙන්න ඕනේ. So here it's 5 into 1 minus 1. A times 1 plus 1. B times 1 minus 1. So we know the reason why did we put x equals 1 because this becomes 0. Make a bindu in this becomes 0. And then 5 minus 1 is a into 2. So you get 4 is equal to 2a. A is equal to 2. So when you put x equals 1, this becomes 0. No? Okay, now tell me what is the value you can substitute. If you want to make this 0, make a bindu කරන්න මොකද්ද? x වලට දාන්න x equals minus 1. You can put minus 1. No? Okay, then if you substitute x equals minus 1, if you substitute x equals minus 1, x in හැමතැනටම minus 1 දාන්න. 5 into minus 1 is equal to a times minus 1 plus 1. B times minus 1 minus 1. So anyways, this becomes 0. Only this will be remaining. Minus 5 minus 1 is equal, this is 0. B into minus 1 is minus 2. So I get minus 6 is equal to 2 minus B. When you divide minus 6 by minus 2, you get the answer B is equal to 3. Clear? The substitute in values, substitution of values, නැත්නම් substitute method එකේදී මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? මේ constants වල ඉන්න කට්ටිය 0 වෙන විදිහට we substitute values. So when you put x equals 1, this becomes 0. ඒතර මේක විතර ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ තේරුණාද? Only this is remaining. When you put x equals minus 1, this becomes 0, only this is remaining. Okay, now tell me in this case, what is the value that you can substitute to make this 0? X equals, I need answers. Again, minus 2. This one, x 4 plus 4. Okay, this case, minus 3. This one, 5. Clear? So here what do? We substitute values such that this coefficient of the constant be 0. The coefficients of these constants become 0 here. It becomes 0. Then it entire one cancel off. Okay, hands up if this one is clear, this method. So which one is convenient? This one or the previous one? Hands up if this one is convenient. Lazy Megan. Previous one. Okay, so like few even prefer the previous one. You have the freedom to do it in any way. But in some questions, I'll be using both methods. සමහර ප්‍රශ්නවල මම දෙකම use කරනවා. Values උත් substitute කරනවා, comparing coefficients උත් දානවා. Clear? Okay. Then second one, substituting values or substitution of values. Under that, write this. In this method, we will be substituting values for x. We will be substituting values for x. We will be substituting values for x such that sum of the coefficients of constants become 0. sum of the coefficients of constants becomes 0. Again, samahara coefficient 0. වෙන විදිහට දාන්න ඕනේ. Okay, then do the first three using this method. First three using this method, do this. Okay, so second one, first one you can substitute such that this becomes 0 is x equals minus 2 in this method. You don't have to rearrange this. Clear? So here it's 2 into minus 2 plus 3. Every x should be replaced. Every x should be replaced by minus 2. It's minus 2 minus 4. So then you know the reason that you have selected minus 2 is because this becomes 0. Make a bindu වෙන හින්දා. So here it's minus 4 plus 3 is equal to b into minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. Which means minus 1 is equal to minus 6b. So b is equal to minus 1 over minus 6. b is equal to minus 1 over minus 6. Which means b is equal to 1 over 6. That's all. The same thing. Put x equals 4. Put x equals 4. So when you put x equals 4, it's 2 into 4 plus 3 is equal to a times 4 plus 2 plus b times 4 minus 4. So here it's 8 plus 3. In this case, I know this becomes 0. This becomes 0. So it's a into 6. 11 is equal to 6a, which means a is equal to 11 over 6. Okay, so that's all. You got the same answers. No, a equals 11 over 6, b equals 1 over 6. Okay, so in this one, first put x equals minus 3. When you put x equals minus 3, it's 6 into minus 3. 6 into minus 3 minus 2 is equal. Okay, now look at this now. So I have written this all in the previous steps. So when you put minus 3, this becomes 0. No? When you put minus 3, this becomes 0. No? This becomes 0. It's 0. So no need of writing it. So you can just forget it and only think about this. b minus 3 minus 5. Since this becomes 0, just ignore it. Then do this remaining simplification. Minus 18 minus 2 is equal to b into minus 8. Which means b, here it's minus 20 equal minus 8b. B is equal to minus 20 over minus 8. Minus minus kohumat ayin wenava. You have 2 4s and 5 4s. You are getting the answer. B equals 5 over 2. B equals 5 over 2. Clear? Same thing, you put in x equals 5 there. No? So when you put x equals 5, even this becomes 5. 6 into 5 minus 2 is equal. You don't have to write this because you know even though you write this, it becomes 0. Then 0 කියලා දැන ලියන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. පොඩ්ඩක් බය තියෙන තියෙම ලියු නැත්නම් ලකුණු කැපෙයිද කියලා. එහෙම කැපෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay, so even though you don't write it, you want marks won't get deducted. So it's a times 5 plus 3. And you don't have to write it. It's 30 minus 2 equals a into 8. So a is 28 over 8. Which means you are getting the answers. 7 4s and 2 4s. The answer is 7 over 2. The answer is 7 over 2. The put it at the end. 0 වෙන values ටික දාගන්න. Clear? Okay, hands up who got a equals 7 over 2. Same answers. In this method, b equals 5. Clear? Good, huh? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. If there's anything, just note it down. If you have done any simplification mistakes, note it down. හරි. දැන් බලමු look at question number 5. I'll explain this. මේක මම කියලා දෙන්නම්. එතකොට ඊළඟ question එක තනියෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. මේකත් board එක බලන්න එපා. මම කියලා දෙන්න. So we have 6x squared plus 10x. දැන් මම කියන්නේ මොන method එකෙන්ද කරන්න කියලා you have the right. Okay. අහගෙන ඉන්න කොලින්ම. x minus 1 x plus 2 b times x plus 1 and x minus 2, and then we have c times x plus 1 x plus 2. We have c times x plus 1 and x plus 2. Clear? X minus 1 x plus 2, x plus 1 x minus 2, and x plus 1 x plus 2. Okay, clear. So like if you want to do this using comparing coefficients, you can do in that way. You have the right. Simplify this, simplify that, simplify that. When I gonna x squared term sticker, x term sticker, constant sticker. If you want, you can do it. I have been given you the freedom to do in any method. Even I'm considering about comparing coefficients. Look at this. Look at these factors and tell me what are the common factors that you can see. ඔක්කොම ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ නිකන් මේකේ තියෙන common factors මට මේ පැත්ත එකක් කියනකො this side and this side I'm asking two factors. Tell me a common factor හැමෝගෙම තියෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Common factor you can see x plus 2. Okay, so one common factor is x plus 2. So x plus 2 is here and x plus 2 is even here. අදම් මට කියන්න how can I make x plus 2 0 when I substitute x equals and x equals minus 2. When I put x equals minus 2, now tell me when this becomes 0, this entire term becomes 0. When I put x equals minus 2, this becomes 0, the entire term becomes 0. So then what will be the remaining term? Only b will be there. There are only b will be there. So if I put x equals minus 2, this cancel off and this cancel off, only b will be there. Okay, now this side. Tell me another common factor that you can see. X plus 1. You can see x plus 1. You can see x plus 1 here and you can see x plus 1 here. Okay, what should we put if we want to make x plus 1 0? We have to put x equals. If we put x equals minus 1, this becomes 0. The entire one becomes 0. This becomes 0. What is the only remaining constant? We got a. Clear? So that's why I'm explaining all these methods, comparing coefficients and substitution of values, because in some instances comparing coefficients are easier. Sometimes, most of the times, this substitution is easier. Okay, so I'm putting x equals minus 1, minus 1. Then you have every x should be substituted. Every x should be substituted. 6 into minus 1 squared, 10 into minus 1. And now look at this, when you put x equals minus 1, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. Now don't do that. When you know it's 0, now you have to pay attention. Focus, focus. Okay. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ බැලුවාම අර ඉන් බුද්දිසම් මොකද බුද්ධ ධර්මයේ ගොඩක් අය we learn about සතර පෙර නිමිති. සතර පෙර නිමිති පෙන්වන්න එපා. අර මේ බලද්දි මේ මහල්ලෙක් ඉන්නවා මේ ඉන්න. ලෙඩෙක් මලමිනියක් පැවිදිරුව තමයි නැත්නම් ඒක කවුරු තමිල් පා ටී-ෂර්ට් එකක් අඳන් ආව නම් ඒකත් හරි. එයාත් ඉන්නවා එන. හරි. හරි. එහෙම පෙන්වන්න එපා. හරි පොඩ්ඩක් අර සමාස් ලීවි නික වෙනම ලෝකයක එහෙම ඉන්න බෑ වෙන look at it like doing a class is really tiring. Some days we have 2 classes, and even normally in my normal routine, I'm going to the course in the morning. But I do the class in an energetic way. Mamma kavadari class se kavadakat karanne x equals. I don't do in that way. Whatever the class I do, whatever the duration I do, till the last minute, I do it in an energetic way. I'm doing it in an energetic way. So when I look at my class, I expect that energetic phases too. නිකන් හිතන්න මම එනර්ජටික් විදියට කියනවා දැන් මේක බිඳුව වෙනවා ලියන්න ඕනේද කියලා. What do I feel like? Like even my energy is going down. Even huh? Okay. So when it is x equals minus 1, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. Bindu I then liyan don't and you don't have to write it. Why you are writing? You know that's 0. Then just forget about it. Only write this one. A times minus 1 minus 1 plus 2. Okay, now when you simplify 6 into 1 minus 10 is equal A into minus 2 minus 1 plus 2 is 1. So it's minus 4 equals minus 2A. A is equal minus 4 over minus 2. So you get A is equal to 2. Clear? Hands up if that is clear. Okay, so what is the value this side only? It's x equals x plus 2 is the other common factor. So you can put x equals minus 2. So the okay. So x equals minus 2, we got 6 times minus 2 squared plus 10 into minus 2. Every x should be substituted by minus 2. Make a liyan never borrow it 0, no, don't write it. Don't write this one, you know that's 0. Then you have this one, write it b minus 2 plus 1 and minus 2, which gives you 6 into 4 minus 20, b into minus 1 into minus 4. 24 minus 20 is equal to b into minus 1 into minus 4 is plus 4. The minus 1 into minus 4 can plus 4 කියනව දැනන් ඉන්න ඕනේ හරිද? මං කිව්වනේ අර වා දේවානම්පී තිස්සව බලවෙනි බුවනක බාහුව ෂාජහන්ව දාලාවට කවන්නේ නැහැ when you come into A level maths. But bring these mathematics minus minus is plus ඒව දැනන් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ගුත්තිල කාව්වේ තියලෙන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Okay, so when once I went to ලක්ෂපති මම ලක්ෂපතිට ගිය එකපාරක් හරිද? hot seat එකෙන් එළියේ hot seat නෙමෙයි මොකද්ද fastest swing එකෙන් එළියේ උදේ ගියේ recordings වලට එන්න වෙලාවක් recording එක පැයක් පෙන්නුවට recording එක like started around නෑ අපි even recording එකට started around 2 o'clock හරිද 2 o'clock it started and the recording went till 11:30 and ඒකෙත් only one contestant went to the hot seat and he went up to 200,000 හරි 3 ලක්ෂ දෙකක් හරි 3ක් වෙනකන් ගියා ඒකේ they take break චන්දන සූර්යබන්දලා හිටුනහම ගිහලා නවත්තලා ගිහලා වතුර ටිකක් බීලා ඇවිල්ලා they doing that way and ඒකේ තමයි මම දැනගත්තේ like when we are looking at the program we think that like චන්දන සූර්යබන්දා is really like he is a good intelligent man ඒ මාර smart කෙනෙක් අහන ඕන දෙයක් දන්නවා කියලානේ now there is a microphone connected to his ear and he is giving the input when කෙනෙක් කියනවා so he is just presenting that okay so that is one thing. And then from his screen, the answer is like before even the arake answer ke enna kalin, eyage screen ekේ the answer is there. So that's why he sometimes drives the honda contest කෙනෙක් නම් තියාගන්න ටික අර පණ්ඩිත කට්ටිය නෑ එලි කපලම දානවා හරිද? And then contest කෙනෙක්ව තියාගන්න ඕන වුණාම like he is like when the contestant give a wrong answer, he is trying to change his mind to another answer. නිකන් අහන අපි බලමුද මේ මොකද්ද කියන්නේ lifeline එක කරන් බලමුද කියලා. So when in that competition like previously මම බලන් හිටියා දැන් කලින් competitions වල ඔක්කොම fastest fingers lazy. කකුල් ගාන වැඩි වෙන පිළිවෙලට මේක ආරෝහණ පිළිවෙලට සකස් කරන්න දෙපා සිව්පා කොහොම කියලා එනවා. කොහොම අපා කොහොම කියලා එනවා lazy. රෝද ගාන වැඩි වෙන පිළිවෙලට මේක සකස් කරන්න කියලා 3 wheel එකයි bicycle එකයි car එකයි මම මොකක්ද තිබ්බම හරි wheel barrow එක මුලින්ම තිබ්බේ. අර දැක්කද wheel barrow රෝද කියලා කොහොම 3යි කියලා කිව්වා අර මම ළඟ තිබ්බ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකට wheel barrow රෝද කීයද 3යි කියලා කිව්වා කීයද තියෙනවද එකයි හරි so I went and then මං ගියා the fastest finger මම පොඩ්ඩක් බැලුවා අවුලක් නැහැ ටිකක් වයසක කට්ටියක් ඉන්නේ කොහොමත් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ fingers වලට අපි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉක්මන්නේ කියලා added advantage එකක් එක්ක එහා පැත්තේ විතරයි පොඩ්ඩක් නිකන් I was the youngest one එහා පැත්තේ එක්කෙනා විතරයි පොඩ්ඩක් නිකන් එතකොට මම ගියේ when I was like around 24 25 යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ එහා පැත්තේ එක්කෙනා විතරයි නිකන් 30s වගේ හිටියේ අනිත් ඔයාලා නිකන් 40s වගේ කිසි අවුලක් නැහැ දැන් මං හිටියා fastest finger නේ ගහන්න බුණා ආව ප්‍රශ්නේ පහත පදපේලිය පිළිවෙලට සකස් කරන්න කියලා when we were doing O levels we didn't have ගුත්තිල කාව්‍ය තිබ්බේ නැහැ හරිද ඒතර දැන් මේක හදන ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔය O level syllabus එකෙන් ප්‍රශ්න දානවා ඒකේ තිබ්බ මොකද්ද ඉතින් I don't ගුත්තිල කාව්‍ය මම දන්නේ නැහැ ඊට අපි මගෙන් ඇහුණා වැස්ස කවි පන්ති අපි ඕල් කරපු අද උනත් කියන වැස්ස කවි පන්තියේ මේකක් දන්නවා මොකද නොදනිත් දරුවෙක් ඇකෙන් වැටුණාද මොකද්ද ඔහොම එකක් තිබ්බා. මොකද්ද ඒකේ පිළිවෙල මොකද්ද? ඇකෙන් මොකද්ද නොදනිත් දරුවන් වැටුණා. අර ඒකේ මීනින් එක පස්සේ හොයලා බලද්දි අර ගුත්තිලද කොහෙද වයලින් එක වීණා හරි මොන හරි ගහද්දී අර අහන් ඉන්න කට්ටිය දන්නෙත් නෑ මේක වැටිලා සීන් එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර හරියක මොකද්ද නොදනිත් දරුවන් ඇකෙන් වැටුණානේ. මම දන්නේ නැහැ බැලුවා මේ මොකද්ද කියලා ඕම ගහලා මොළමන් ගහලා තියෙන ඇකෙන් වැටුණා දරුවා නොදෙනිත් කියලා මොන හරි එකක් ගහලා බැලුවා. So අර ඒ නිසා මං කිව්වා අර ඒක මට මතක් වුණේ නිකන් ගුත්තිලකාවේ තියෙන අපේ එකේ ගුත්තිලකාවේ තිබ්බේ නෑ. ඉතින් මට මතක් වුණේ ඒව අරන් එන්න ඕනේ නෑ. නිකන් ඉන්න ගමන් කියන්නේ කම්මැලි ගමන් නිකන් කියනවා නම් ගුත්තිලකාවේ කියන්නේ ඒක උලක් නෑ. But I need you to bring this -1 in minus is plus ගේන්න ඕනේ. ඒව දාලා එන්න බෑ. මම ළඟට ඉඳන් පස්සේ කොහොමද -1 +4 උනේ කියලා. ඒවා you need to bring. Clear? Okay. ඊට පස්සේ කොහමද ඒකේ ආතල්ම එක තියෙන්නේ දැන් කාටවත් මං කිව්වෙත් නෑ ෆාස්ටස් විංග ගියා කියලා හොට් සීට් එකක් නෑ නෝන්ඩේනේ අර සිරසෙන් ලක්ෂපතියකින් දානවා මේ ඒ කියන්නේ එදා ඉන්න කන්ටෙස්ටර්ස්ලා 10 දෙනාම දානවා පෝස්ට් එකක් ෆොටෝ එකත් එක්ක දානවා ඕක කවුරු හරි එක්කෙනෙක් දැකලා දැන් ඒක ෂෙයා කරලා තිබ්බා ඊට ෂෙයා කරාම ටිකක් ඔය ඒකල්ලේ මගේ යාළුවෙම ඉන්න ටිකක් ඔය ඒකයි මල්ලිලා එහෙම ටිකක් ඔය මගේ එක දේවල් ෂෙයා කරන ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් දැම්ම ෂෙයා කරනවා නෙමෙයි ඉතින් අර ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේ නැති නිකන් I'll give a good show කියලා අම්ම ෂෙයා කරලා තිබ්බා සෑහෙන මන් දැක්ක කැප්ෂන් දාලා අද චන්දන සූරිය බණ්ඩාරත් left හොමයි කියලා දාලා තිබ්බා මම අයිබෝස්නේ කාටවත් කිව්වේ නැහැ ඉතින් කියන්න බෑනේ මං ලක්ෂපතියා බලන්න කියලා අර මුල අයිබෝන් කියලා කියන්නේ විතරයි එතනින් පස්සේ මම නෑ ඊට පස්සේ ඒකම මට ෂෙයා කරන්න එක අහිං මම ලක්ෂපති මාර හේ හොෝගල් ෂෙයා කරනවා කට්ටිය ෂෙයා කරනවා මේක කියලා අර කැප්ෂන් තමයි ආතල අද චන්දන සූරිය බණ්ඩාර left බලන්න ඕන එපිසෝඩ් එකක් ඌ බලලත් නෑ එහෙම කියලා දාලා ඌ දාලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි අන්තිමට බලපෙකෙක් තමයි දන්නේ ඉතින් මූ නෑනේ කෝ අහනවනේ hot seat මෙහෙමයි කියලා. කොතමයි ඒක ලක්ෂපතිගේ දැම්මසා ගියේ නෑ. හරි. So here we have 24 minus 20 is 4. හරි. B is equal to 1. හරි. We got two answers no. හරි. Now what I want to do මේක බලන්න එපා. මම බලනවාද කියලා. හොරෙන් බලන්න එපා. ප්‍රශ්නේ බලන්නත් ඕනේ නෑ. The question is in the tutor. Don't look at it. හොරෙන් බලන්න එපා. මෙහෙම කරමු. පපරයි වගේ බලන්න එපා. හරි. Okay. So what you have to do this find A and B ඔතනට එන්නකෝ. Don't find C. I'll explain that. තනියෙන් කරන්න find A and B. බලන්න. Don't look at the board, just find A and B. Okay, so find A and B. If you have taken C, that's okay, that's even better, but I'll explain how to take C. Okay, so you have taken A equals 2 and B equals 1. Okay. And සමහර ඇතින like we have to say the සිංහල word. එතකොට තමයි ඒක දැනෙන්නේ. සොයන් කිචි ද කියලා කිව්වම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කිව්වම කියන්නේ ඔටෝ ටික්ලිෂ් ද කිව්වම තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ටික්ලිෂ් කියන්නේ කිචි කියන එක දන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ සමහරට. ටික්ලිෂ් කියලා කියන්නේ කිචි කියලා කිය ටික්ලිෂ් කියන එකට. එතකොට අර නිකන් බලන් ඉන්නේ ඊළඟ විදිහට I just ask සොයන් කිචිද කියලා. අර සිංහලෙන් ඒක ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් අහුවම ඔටෝ ටික්ලිෂ් ද කියලා අහුවම ගතියන්නේ. අර නිකන් ඉනාවේ ඉන්න බා මට තිනා යනවා. හරි. Okay, so this one so you have taken A and B. Okay, now look at the board. Number. So after here, now you should realize. Now look at the board. Okay, that is. බලන්න board එක. So you have taken A and B, and the value that you haven't taken is C. No? So why did we take A and B? Because when you put x equals -1, these two cancel off and A will be only remaining. Okay, A will be only remaining. So how did you take B? When you put x equals -2, C and A will be taken off and B will be only remaining. But now the remaining one is A. Or C vitarai. So that means you have to keep C and you have to take out these two. But the thing here, if you look at these two, there's no any common factor. No. මේ දෙකේ common එකෙක් නෑ නේද? මේ දෙකේ common කෙනෙක් නෑ. If there's, let's say we are having x plus like x minus 1 and x minus 1, then there is a common one, then you can substitute that value. හැබැයි මේක අර එහෙම පේන්නේ නෑ. So there are two ways that you can do this. One thing, අපි දැන්ටමත් A B වල values දන්නවනේ. So you can substitute any other value to this equation. You can substitute any other value. So I'm substituting x equals 1. Okay, so there are two ways that you can do this. The first one that I'm finding C. two ways. One way is you can substitute any other value. So I'm going to put x equals 1. Okay, now when you put x equals 1, what do you get? 6 times 1 squared plus 10 into 1 is equal a times 1, 0, 0. 1 minus 1, b times 1 plus 1, 1 minus 2, and c times 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2. Since we already know a and b, you can substitute any value. Now when I ask you to substitute any value, you need to know that you have to substitute a small value. X equals c වගේ දාන්න එපා. 50 වගේ don't put it. Then the simplification is really big. No. So like put a small value. Okay, now this becomes 0, but like that one I didn't see, but somehow this becomes 0. No. Okay, now you can write 6 into 1, it's 6 plus 10 is equal to b. What is b? B is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 into minus 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Plus c into 2 into 3. Clear? So then we get, this is 16 is equal minus 2 plus 6c. A minus 2 taken to this side, it's 18, it becomes plus is equal to 6c, which means c is equal to 18 over 6. So c is equal to 3. So after finding AB, since there are no any values that can make these two 0, you can substitute any value and get the answer. Okay, hands up if this one is clear, see they can see. Okay, do this one. So find in C, put under method 1. So I'm going to ask you to do the next question. You can do this under any method. Consider the easier method. You can do it. Silence. කතා නෑ වැඩ විතරයි තනින් වැඩ. Substitute any value. So I'm putting x equals 1 and do the simplification alone. Don't look at the board. Do the simplification alone. Okay, so I told you like after taking two values, you can substitute any values and get the answer. So I'm getting c is equal to 3. That is method 1. So I'm trying to explain and teach every possible method and give you the freedom to follow any other method. So like when I ask you to do the next question, you have the right, you have the freedom, not the right, the freedom to even do in this method or the next method I'm going to explain. So that one is clear. No? Okay, so the next method is this way. So I told you like we have discussed about two methods. We have discussed about two methods that we can find these constants. No? One is comparing coefficients. The other one is substitution of values. Substituting values. So here completely I have substituted values. No? So all three ones I have substituted value. But there are some problems like when you use both, like when you can use both the methods, things will be a bit easier. I'll show you example. Okay, now tell me, what is the coefficient of x squared here? What is the coefficient of x squared? What is the coefficient? Is 6. The coefficient of x squared is 6. Okay, now if I ask you what is the coefficient of x squared in the right hand side, do you have to simplify this entirely to find the coefficient? No, right? Because you know, you get a x squared from here. No. X squared what is the coefficient? A. You get x squared from here. No. What is the coefficient? B. You get x squared from here. No. What is the coefficient? C. Then tell me what is the coefficient of x squared in the right hand side? A plus B plus C. Clear? So if you compare the coefficients of x squared, you get A plus B plus C, which is equal to 6. So A is 2, B is 1. You are supposed to find C. C tunai kila dan depa. This is another method. Then you get, if you put C equals 3, you get 6 is equal to 6. Yeah, 6 is equal to 6. Okay. So we got C from the first method. So here I'm finding C again. And then I get c plus 3 is equal to 6. C is equal to 3. So what do I do here? Like you don't have to simplify the entire one. Even you can do in this way. Okay, look at this. If I ask you what is the what is the constant in the right hand side, what is the constant? You are getting a constant when you multiply these two. No? So what is the constant here? Minus 1 into plus 2 is? Tell me, minus 1 into plus 2 is? Minus 2. So when it multiplied by a, it's minus 2a. What is the constant you are getting here? Plus 1 into minus 2 is? Minus 2. So when it is multiplied by b, what are we getting there? Minus 2b. Here, plus 2, when it becomes c, plus 2c. So then you can even directly write the constant. You don't have to expand this. You can write the constant minus 2a minus 2b plus 2c is equal to 0. If we want to find the constant, so this case, it's a bit easier than the previous method. Okay, method 2, comparing coefficients. Comparing coefficients. Let's do one more and take a break. Let's do one more and take a break. So put method 2 and do in this way, and then do question number 6. Do question number 6. I need the entire class to get answers. It's okay if you didn't get the previous answers of the first question, but now you are used with this. Do question number 6. Find A, B, and C. මේක උත්තරෝනේ පන්තිම 1 2 පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න මිස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් වැඩේ සෙට් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මට A B C අරන් දෙන්න. Take A, B and C. Question number 6. Same thing, same thing. If there's anything unclear, ask me. ඉන්න එපා. I can අද ගෙදර ගිහලා ලබන සතිය අහනවා කියලා ඉන්න එපා. If there's anything, ask me. If there's anything unclear, ask me soon after the class. අද තේරෙන්නේ නැද්ද? අදම අහගෙන යන්න. So go home and then again make it more clear. And then it's done. Same thing. You can easily find two constants using the substitution. And then to find the third one, you can use any of these methods. Either you can compare a coefficient or you can substitute any other value. Okay, so you can easily find two values, and x minus 1 is common. So when you put x equals 1, you get 1 squared is equal, don't write this, only write that one. C into 1 plus 2, so 1 is equal to C into 3, so C is equal to 1 over 3. Okay, C is equal to 1 over 3. And then the other one you can see when you put x equals minus 2, when you put x equals minus 2, even this becomes 0 and this becomes 0. So it's minus 2 squared is equal to, do the simplification properly, a minus 2 minus 1 squared. So minus 2 squared is 4 and this is minus 3 squared. You get 4 is equal to a into 9 because a into 9 minus 3 squared is 9. And then you get a is equal to 4 over 9. Okay, so you have taken a and you have taken c. Easily you can get those values when you put x equals 1 and x equals minus 2. And now look, is there a way that you can take b? So we know if you want to take b, you have to take out a and c. What a b ඕනේ නම් what a and c අයින් කරන්න ඕනේ. So the thing is, there is no any common factor in a and c. A and c වල common කවුරුත් නැහැ. Which means when you substitute a value, a දෙක අයින් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. There are two methods I explained. Either you can substitute any other value. You can put x equals 3, x equals minus 1, any other value and find c. Or else you can compare the coefficient. So when you compare the coefficient, now tell me, what is the coefficient of x squared in this side? What is the coefficient of x squared inside? It's 1. So here, look at the places you get x squared. Or x squared, hammere then balande. Here, you know, when you expand it, you get x squared. No. When you expand it, you get x squared. So what is the coefficient of that x squared? What is the coefficient of that x squared? It's a. Here you have another x squared. No. X into x, you have another x squared. What is the coefficient of that x squared? It's b. Do you have any x squared terms here? No, you don't have any x squared terms. Clear? So then if you compare the coefficient of x squared, here you saw that the coefficient is a, here is b, a plus b is equal to 1, is equal to 1. Which means a is 4 over 9 is equal to 1. Take this to the other side. 1 minus 4 over 9. B is equal 9 minus 4 over 9. So b is equal to 5 over 9. So you're supposed to get this answer, but you can even get the same answer when you substitute any other value. You can substitute x equals 2 and see what happens. Clear? Okay. Okay, hands up who got a equals 4 over 9, b equals 5 over 9, and c equals 1 over 3. Hands up. Who got the answer? Good. Okay, take interval and come. It's 540. Come by 555. Come by 555. നമ്മളാട്ട് എന്നെ ചെയ്യാൻ തോന്നുന്നു we might finish on the right time. Okay, come by 555. Okay, we now do question number 7. Silence, silence, silence. Sadhanathan, do question number 7. Okay, Sadhanathan. Start question number 7. Hey, start question number 7. Same set of questions. Do question number 7. Anyone who want the mic? Okay, okay. I think good. Like when I ask you to do a question, this is a A-level combined A-level class, matured students. They come on in like a rose and away. Silence, silence, silence. Start by. Hey, put a current. Put a current. Okay, do question number 7. So when if you can find all A, B, C constants using substitution, do that. So in the previous two, you saw it. When we couldn't find one constant using a normal substitution is where I need to change the way. But if you can find it, you can substitute the values. Okay? To question number 7. Silence, silence. When begin the Hey, Sarah Q Amanda, they might have nodding again. Okay, so here is you can see we have x plus 1 here and x plus 1 here. No? So then you can put x equals minus 1. So when you put x equals minus 1, every x should be substituted by minus 1. A minus 1 squared plus 4 times minus 1 plus 2. So this becomes 0, this becomes 0, only that one will be remaining. C into minus 1, minus 1 plus 2. So minus 1 squared is 1, minus 4 plus 2 is equal to C into minus 1 into plus 1. So here 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 minus 4 is minus 1 is equal to minus C, which means C is equal to 1. So I got C. And then if you look at this x plus 2, here there's x plus 2 and here there's x plus 2. Then I can consider x equals minus 2. Then you can consider x equals minus 2. Clear? You can consider x equals minus 2. So when you have x equals minus 2, this is minus 2 squared. This is minus 2 squared plus 4 times minus 2 plus 2. Minus 2 squared, 4 times minus 2 plus 2. So in this end, this becomes 0 and even this becomes 0. This is the only remaining one. B times minus 2 plus 1. Minus 2 squared is 4 minus 8 plus 2 is equal to b into minus 2. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. Which means 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 8 is minus 2. And when you simplify this, it's minus 2 into minus 1 is 2. So b is equal to minus 2 over 2. So b is equal to minus 1. So you got two answers. No? So even you can do the same thing that what you did before. Like when you consider the x squared, the coefficient of x squared, here it's 1. Here we get a, b and c. You can even consider that one. But there is another way in this one. Now you have taken c and b. No? So you have to take a. No? If you want to take a, you have to take out b and c. B, c අයින් කරන්න ඕනේ. So when you look at this, you can see one common in b and c. You know? There's a common x. So when you put x equals minus 1, this becomes 0. X වලට minus 1 දැම්මම මේක 0 වෙනවනේ. So what is the common in these two? It's x. No. What happens when you put, how can you make this x 0? X ට කවුරු දැම්මොත් the x 0 වෙන්නේ? x ට කවුරුද දැන්? x ට minus 1 දැම්මම මෙයා 0 වෙනවනේ. එතන x ට කවුරු දැම්මොත්ද x 0 වෙන්නේ? x equals 0. So you can do it in another way. You can consider x equals 0. So if you write x equals 0, x to 0 then 0 plus 4 into 0 plus 2. Only a is remaining. A times 0 plus 1 is 1. A times 0 plus 2 is 2. Because this becomes 0, this becomes 0. So here it's 2 is equal to 2a. You get the answer a is equal to 1. So that is one way. When it is x plus 1, it is clear we have to put x equals minus 1. But when it is x, it's the easiest one. How can you make x equal 0? That you have to put x is equal to 0. But anithidira normal vidya. Normal vidya means what we discuss. What is the other method? I'm comparing coefficients. So if you consider the x squared coefficient, you know, how do you get x squared? 1x squared here, the coefficient is a. 1x squared here, the coefficient is b. 1x squared here, the coefficient is c. Then what is the coefficient of x squared? It's a plus b plus c, which is equal to 1. A is what I want to find. B is minus 1, C is plus 1. A is equal to 1. Clear? You get A is equal to 1. Clear? That is clear. So like you can keep substituting values if you are getting the answer. If not, you can go in this way. Hands up, we got A equals 1, B minus 1, C 1. Good. Okay, let's do two more questions. Now look at question number 8. I'll explain question number 8 Then the last question, question number 9, everyone should do it. Okay, first listen properly. We got question number 8. X squared plus 3 is equal to a times x squared plus 1 plus bx plus c times x minus 1. Okay, I'll explain this. For next one, you can do this alone. Okay, so when you look at this, there's one substitute that you can directly see which makes things easy. එකක් දැම්මහම නිකන් lazy වැඩ. X equals who? You are supposed to substitute. X equals 1. You can put x equals 1. When you put x equals 1, this becomes 0. When this becomes 0, this entire part becomes BC ඔක්කොම අයින් වෙනවානේ. When you put x equals 0, this entire part becomes 0. Okay, so දැක්ක ගමන් lazy දෙය කරන්න. Okay, then I'm putting x equals 1. So when I put x equals 1, it's 1 squared plus 3 is equal to a times 1 plus 1. You don't have to write that one. Okay, this is 4 is equal to a into 2, which means a is 4 over 2. So this is what you can do. When you put x equals 1, this becomes 0. Now we have x squared plus 1. මෙතනට values දැම්මට වැඩක් නැහැ නු. වැඩක් නැහැ. Because when you put x equals minus 1 here, what happens? If you put x equals minus 1, what happens? It becomes plus 1. It doesn't become 0. So what make a bindu කරන්න බෑ. You can't make this 0. Clear? You can't make this 0. Because whatever the value you put here, it becomes 0. It becomes positive. Whatever the value you put here, it becomes 0, positive. So මෙතනට values දාලා වැඩක් නැහැ. So then no use of comparing, no use of substituting. Okay, then again I'm moving to my normal method. If you find hard to substitute values, again values දැම්මට වැඩක් නැත්නම් go with the coefficients. I'm comparing x squared. Okay, now you tell me. Here I'm getting x squared. What is the coefficient here? A. Here I'm getting x squared, no? Yeah. Okay, what is the coefficient there? It's b. So then what is the coefficient of here? It's a, and here it's b. A plus b should be equal to what? It's 1. A is equal to 2. So b is equal to 1 minus 2. So when you don't get a value that you can substitute, දැක්ක ගමන් පේන දේ substitute කරන්න. බිඳුව වෙනේව කළා දාන්න. හිතන්න එපා. Like whenever you start a problem, you have to do the things that you see first. මුලින්ම දකින දේ lazy දේ මුලින්ම කරන්න. Then you can think of another way that how you can simplify. Clear? මුලින්ම දකින දේ කරන්න. Okay, then that is done. So I have used x squared. No? Okay. Then you can even use the coefficient of x. Or you can use the coefficient of the constant. Methoning or the constant, you are getting the constant a into 1. What is the constant there? What is the constant there? A. B is with x, no? B in x ekkane. So when you multiply, do you get a constant? When b is with x, when you multiply, do you get a constant? No, you don't get. Okay, then what is the constant that you are getting here? C into minus 1, which is minus c. Okay, then I can consider the constant. I can consider the constant. Here it's a. Here it's c into minus 1 minus c. Minus c, which is equal to the constant here, it's 3. So a is 2, minus c is 3. Take minus c here, it becomes plus c, and 2 minus 3, so minus 1. So the answer, I get c is equal to minus 1. So what I want you to do is you have the freedom. You can keep substituting values and find, that's okay. But if you use this combination, dekama use karo. If you use comparing coefficients and this substitution, then things are easier. Clear? Things are easier. Hands up if this is clear. Okay, so this is what I want to do. We are doing this and another one. Do this, like you can get the support from the board, but next one, do it alone. That will be the last one we are doing inside the classroom from these questions. So question number 9, you should do that alone. First do this. Then do question number 9. Tell me, is these students here? Rivit Nanayakar is here? Chenulima, Tanusha Pereira, Yasasni Savid, Akila Jeffrey. Okay. Okay, so question number 9, what you see first is you have x minus 1. So I put x equals 1. So when I put x equals 1, okay, so here it's 1 squared plus 15 is equal to a times 1 squared is 1, 1 plus 2 plus 5. So that is 0. You don't have to write it. It becomes 0. No? Here it's 1 plus 15, which is 16, is equal to a into 8. So a is 16 over 8, which means a is equal to 2. Clear? A is equal to 2. So then you can't see any value that makes a coefficient 0. No? So then you can compare the values. If you compare x squared, it is clear you get x squared here, it's a. From here you get another x squared, the coefficient is b. So a plus b is equal, what is the coefficient of x squared? It's 1. A is 2. So b is equal to 1 minus 2. I get b is equal to minus 1. B is equal to minus 1. And then you can even compare this x coefficient. That is totally okay. But what is clear is going with the constant. If you write the constant, here it's 5 into a, 5a. And here, what is the constant? C into minus 1, it's minus c. Because bx can't give you a constant. Because b is anyways with x, no? So it can't give you a constant. It's bx. So every time there is x term there. I is equal to the constant here, which is 15. A is 2. So if I put this here and take this to the other side, 10 minus 15 is equal to c. So c is equal to minus 5. So you're supposed to get the answers. A equals 2, b equals minus 1, and c equals minus 5. Okay, hands up who got these 3 answers. Okay. Okay. Then you can do the remaining questions in that one. There's one small mistake. In this 10th question, it's x cube minus 3x plus 1. Cancel that plus 1. 10th question, it's x cube minus 3x plus 1. And cancel that plus 1. Okay. Okay. Write the next main topic. Division of polynomials. Write the next main topic. Division of polynomials. Division of polynomials. Division of polynomials. An important area. So here, the knowledge of this one, you need it throughout the A-level journey. Division of polynomials. Okay. Okay, now listen properly. Hands up who are newcomers today? Who are newcomers? Adamabu Katti. Okay, so I'll talk to all of them at the end of the class. Newcomers, I'll talk to them end of the class. Okay. Silence, 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 silence. Okay, now this is the thing. Division of polynomials. So here, what we'll be doing is straight. Okay. Okay. So here we are doing, we have to divide one polynomial by another polynomial. So this is what we are doing here. We have to divide one polynomial by another polynomial. So here it's a division between polynomials. Like a polynomial like තව එකකින් බෙදන කියන්නේ. Polynomial like දෙකකින් බෙදනවා තුනෙන් බෙදනවා නෙමෙයි. We are dividing it by polynomial. So there are 3 methods, 3 ways that we can do that. One is the basic method. It's the long division method. The long division, what you know? It's the long division method. So this is what you know. Okay. The second one is the synthetic division. Synthetic division. Third one is comparing coefficients. Comparing coefficients. Coefficients. Okay, the second one is comparing coefficients method. Okay. But the thing is the synthetic division is not anymore in the syllabus. Since 2014 or 13, it's not in the syllabus, which means you can't use it. If you use the synthetic division, you get 0 marks. Binduai. Okay. Pau කියලා දෙන්නේ ලකුණු. It's not in the syllabus anymore. And comparing coefficients is a limited edition. ඒක පොඩක් limited. You can't use this every time. හැමතැනම මේක use කරන්න බෑ. So here the comparing coefficients මේ ඔක්කොම මේක discuss කරන්න because that is not in the syllabus. No. So comparing coefficients we will be discussing this. But here it's a limited one because here is only when divided by a factor. We can use this only when divided by a factor. So we can use this comparing coefficients only when we are dividing it by a factor. So that means the main method of polynomial division is this long division method. Clear? We are having three methods: long division method, synthetic division, and the comparing coefficients. This is not in the syllabus anymore, but this one is in the syllabus. It's an easier method, but it is a limited one. You can't use this everywhere. හැමතැනම මේක use කරන්න බෑ. You can only use when we are dividing by a factor. You can only use when we are dividing by a factor. So what is the main priority that we got? It's the long division method. It's the long division method. Okay. Write in this way. Write in this way. Here we will be discussing. Here we will be discussing about the division of a polynomial, about the division of a polynomial, about the division of a polynomial by a polynomial. Division of a polynomial by a polynomial. By a polynomial. Okay. There are three methods. There are three methods for the division of polynomials. There are three methods for the division of polynomials. Okay, write the first one, long division method. First one, long division method. First one, long division method. Second one, synthetic division. Second one, synthetic division. Synthetic division within brackets. Not in the syllabus. Within brackets, not in the syllabus. Not in the syllabus. Okay. So synthetic division within brackets, not in the syllabus. Number 3, comparing coefficients. Comparing coefficients. Comparing coefficients within brackets only when divided by a factor. Within brackets only when divided by a factor. Only when divided by a factor. Okay. Okay, there are some terms that we need to know in polynomial division. So here, let's say we are having a polynomial fx and it is divided by another polynomial gx. And the answer is also a polynomial, a function. And here that we consider what is remaining, it's even a polynomial. So these are not numbers. Huh? These are not numbers. Like let's say you have to divide 243 by 5 and you are getting numbers. No? So here it's a number, here it's a number. No? But these are not numbers. So these are polynomials. So by never it's a polynomial. Polynomial, the answer is a polynomial and what is remaining is a polynomial. Clear? So that's why I hamadandam fx danda bani. So that's why I have used fx, gx, h, and if you can put any letter. You can use instead of hx, use your name's first letter. And if it is like, let's say someone called Pasan, put px, that is okay. It's just a notation. You function a pen and vidhi. Clear? You can use any letter. Hands up if that part is clear. Okay. So there are terms that we need to know. This one is named as the dividend. The dividend. You have heard about dividend. If you have done commas in English medium, you have heard this. Sinhalin kalla nang dan commas wage you are doing in English medium. Hands up who did commas in English medium? Now, because back then when I was doing English medium, there was no commas at my school. Not my school means most of the schools didn't have it. So we did in singular medium. So you know when you invest in stocks, the income you get is the dividend income. Okay. So that is not this one, not stocks. The word we say is the dividend. This one is the divisor. We are dividing it by the divisor. So the dividend is divided by the divisor. And this one is quite new. The answer we get, we name it as the quotient. The answer, so all these are polynomials. We are polynomials, different names. Okay, so here, so what do we normally call this? In normal division, what do we call this? Remainder. So here it's even the remainder. So it's the remainder. So you need to know these terms: dividend, divisor, quotient, and the remainder. Clear? Okay, so these we need to know. We need to get familiar with these words when we are dividing polynomials. Okay, next slide, write it this way. In polynomial division, in polynomial division, the following terms, in polynomial division, the following terms are important. The following terms are important. The following terms are important. Okay, then draw this and name the terms properly. Dividend, divisor, the remainder, and the quotient. Remainder and the quotient. Okay. Okay, then we'll be discussing mainly about the long division method, and later in the third day of the lesson, not next week, week after, we'll be discussing about the second method. We are not discussing at all. We'll be talking about the third method. Okay, so write a subtopic, long division method. Write the subtopic, long division method. Subtopic. So we are under division of polynomials. Okay, long division method. Okay, now let's say we have to divide this x squared plus 3x plus 1. We have to divide this by x plus 1. Okay, so this is my task. So this is the dividend and this is the divisor. Clear? Lazy. Even though you didn't understand the entire lesson, this part you can understand. I know that you understood the previous parts. But even though you didn't understand it, you can understand this. Okay, now think about what is the normal process of a division, long division. So let's say we have to divide 243 by 5. Okay, so what is the first step? So what is the first step? Tell me. We can't divide 2. Then we consider Tell me. We consider 24. Okay, we are dividing 24 by 5 and we are putting the answer is 4. So the first step is division. Mulima pikaranne a division. And then what do? Multiply 4 by 5 and I write the answer as 20. So what was the second step? It's a multiplication. So first we divide, then we multiply. And then what do? What do? Again repeat it. It's not subtract. It's subtract. Okay, it's S-U-B-T-R-A-C-T. There's no S-U-B-S. Have you been learning it for past all years as subtract? It's not subtract. Okay, it's subtract. The process is subtraction. We are doing English medium now. Okay, subtract is something else. So what is the correct term? It's subtract. Okay, so what is the correct term? What do we do? Okay, so what we do is subtract. Okay, so the process is subtraction. It's not subtraction. But I admit that pronunciation is even accepted, but the correct one is subtracted. If you Google subtract, you will be getting a definition. There's no word called subtract. What we use as subtract is subtract. So the correct one is subtract. Sub, to say subtract, has two different words. ගොඩක් වෙලා ඉඳලා කියන්න එපා sub කියලා tract කියලා කියන්න එපා. Okay, but if you can't say it's subtract කියන ඔයගේ පොඩ pronunciations හදන්න පුළුවන්, like if especially like in English medium students, like another pronunciation error when you are starting a word with s, that is a major issue. Like we use this is no, Spider-Man is Spider-Man, but nowadays I like that has been minimized. So we have to somehow we have to make then but we can avoid those things. Okay, then Spider-Man is Spider-Man. So the correct one is subtract. Okay, so you have been learning something wrong for years. Subtract me. It's subtract. So what is the next one? It's subtract. So we subtract and so 24 minus 20 is 4. Then we take this 3. Then down. It's not a mathematical operation. Okay, then again what we do? 43 is divided by 5, we put 8, which means this process is again repeated. We divide 43 by 5, we multiply this by this, and then we subtract. The answer is 3. Clear? So what is the basically long division or division is a cyclic process. We divide, we multiply, and then we subtract. Clear? We divide, we multiply, and we subtract. Okay? Okay, now, listen. So we have to do the same thing here. But now you are getting a problem. When I ask you to divide this, it is clear what you have to do. You have to divide 24 by 5, no? You have to divide 24 by 5. But here you are getting a problem. What am I supposed to divide? Kavada bedanne. Okay, so here comes what we learned initially. The division every time happens between the leading term. The division every time happens between the leading terms. So what are the leading terms? What is a leading term? The term consists in the highest power. So the division is always between the leading terms. We have x squared. X squared is divided by x, which is equal to x. Clear? Which is equal to x. So you write here x. You multiply. When you're multiplying, we multiply both. X into x is x squared. X into plus 1 is plus x. So when you multiply both. Only when dividing, we are considering the leading terms. Clear? Okay. And then what do? We subtract. Okay, so we subtract. When you subtract, x squared and x squared cancel off. Okay. 3x minus x. We have to subtract. No? 3x minus x gives you 2x. Plus 1 comes down. Again, we are rotating to the division. So now what is the leading term here? It's 2x. Okay, so 2x is divided by x. 2x is divided by x. What is the answer we get? It's 2. Clear? When 2x is divided by 2, we get the answer 2. Is by x, we get the answer 2. A multiply. When we are multiplying, we have to multiply every number. Keep in that. Okay, keep in mind. So 2x plus 2. And then again, what do? Subtract. These cancel off. 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 2? It's minus 1. I'll explain another one. Okay, if you couldn't understood by this, I'll take another example. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Okay. Okay, now I'm telling you, we have to stop the division from here. We have to stop the division by here. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Think and tell me. There are students who can tell it. There are students who can tell it. Why should we terminate the division? Why should we stop the division by here? Why can't we divide it furthermore? So here it's minus 1. So this is a polynomial. No? What is the degree here? Make it the degree. Minus 1. What is the degree here? It's a constant. A constant means what's the degree? 0. And we started from the 0 degree, no? 0 degree is a constant. If the degree is 1, there should be which term? Degree ekanang, there should be a x. There should be x, no? So there's no any x. So here's a constant. The degree is 0. Because my question I'm asking, I'll give you time to think. The degree is 0. Here the degree is 1. So let's say you are going to divide this under. Let's say you're going to divide this. Minus 1, you are dividing by x. Okay. If you divide this, the leading term is minus 1. Minus 1 should be divided by the leading term here, which is x. Clear? Which is x. Okay, now I'll give you 1 minute. I'll ask answers. Think, why can't we divide this? So we have to stop the division by here. I need you to think. I'll give the chance to answer. So if you divide this, you get this one. Tell me, why can't you do this division? So we have to stop the division from here. Try to figure out the answer. Think, I'll ask answers. Think individually. Think the හිතන්න දුන්නම කතා කරන්න එපා. Think හේතුව දන්නවද නැහැ? Anyone who can figure out the answer, the reason? What's the reason? Yeah, correct. Okay, what happens? Look, what happens? The reason. Any other who can tell it? Simple. Okay. So what happens here? Look at this. Look at the board. Look at me. Yeah, okay. So here we got minus 1 over x, no? We got minus 1 over x. Okay, so if I take this x up, tell me what's the power here? Minus 1 amatak karannu. Minus 1 amatak karannu. If I take x up, what is the power here? X to the power minus 1. So if you divide that, what you write here is, so we have a minus. If you have a minus, if you take this out, it takes this up, it's minus x to the power minus 1. So if you divide it, you are getting minus x to the power minus 1. Okay, now tell me what is the error here? It's not a polynomial, because a polynomial is only with positive integers as power. So this is not a polynomial. So that is the reason we have to terminate the division by here. So only 2 points that you need to make sure. Only 2 points. Every time the division happen between which terms? The division happen between which terms? Leading terms. The second one, you have to terminate the division. You have to terminate the division when the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. That's all. You have to terminate the division when this degree is less than this degree. Because look at this. What is the degree here? What is the degree here? 2 කියන්න එපා. What is the degree here? It's 1. So degrees are same. No? So then you don't have to stop. But here, this degree is less than this one, which means you have to terminate the division. So there's only 2 points that you need to make sure. always the division happen between leading terms. You need to terminate the division when the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the device. Clear? Okay, I'll explain. I'll take another example. A bit lengthier one. Just listen to the thing. You can do this alone. No? So this is someone even in the morning class. Even in the morning class, students did it. The entire class did it alone when I asked them to do. Okay, I'm doing the first question in main question number 2. So I'm going to show this Q1, Q2, main question, question 1. So what do we have? X cube. We have x cube in the. Okay, so this is what we have. Listen. So this is what we have. Okay. So division happened between leading term. So here we have to divide. We have to divide x cube by x. What is the answer we get? It's x squared. I'm just writing to explain. You can just directly write x cube divided by x. We know that x squared. Okay, when multiplying, we have to multiply everyone. X squared into x is x cube. X squared into minus 1 is minus x squared. Okay, next step is the subtraction. Okay, when you subtract, x cube and x cube cancel off. Make sure this. Careful. Minus 3 minus, we have to subtract this from this, no? Which means this minus this one. Which means this minus this one. But we have minus 3 minus minus 1. Now what happens? Minus 3 minus minus 1. What happens? It becomes plus. So minus 3 plus 1 is equal to minus 3 plus 1 minus 2. Clear? How did we get it? So here it becomes minus 2x squared. Because how did we get minus 2? Simply we have to do this one. Minus 3, I'm subtracting minus 1. Minus 3 minus minus 1 is minus 2. Hands up if that one is clear. Okay. Okay, then multiply. Okay, then here take this down. 4x minus 4. Minus 2x squared divided by x. Minus 2x squared divided by x. What is remaining? Kammeli. What is remaining? Minus 2x. We get minus 2x. Okay, then multiply. Minus 2x into x is minus 2x squared. Minus 2x into minus 1 is plus 2x. Minus minus වැඩි කරාම plus කියන එක O level වලින් අරන් එන්න ඕනේ. Okay. නොදනිත් දරුවන් මොකද? හැකෙන් වැටුණා. නොදනිත් okay. ඒව අරන් එන්න ඕනේ හරිද? Okay, these two cancel off, Anand. These two cancel off. Okay, 4x minus 2x. 4x minus 2x. क्या කටවහම හිනා වෙන්නේ क्या? 4x minus 2x is 2x minus 4. Minus 4 comes down. What is the degree here? What a process when barak වෙලානේ. දැන් මම මේ දෙක පෙන්නලා what is the degree of 2 කියලා කියන්න එපා. The degree is the highest power of x. What is the degree here? It's 1. Okay, degree here is 1. So degrees are equal. Should we terminate the division? No. We can divide furthermore. 2x divided by x. X cancel off. What is remaining? 2. 2x divided by 2 is? Not 2. 2x divided by x. What is remaining? It's 2. Plus 2. Now multiply 2x. 2 into minus 1 is minus 2. Again we are having this. Okay, 2x cancel off. Minus 4 minus minus 2. What happens? Minus 4 plus 2, which means minus 2. Here. So here it's the remainder because you can't furthermore divide this. So what you have to be like when you are subtracting, when there's minus here, always it becomes minus becomes plus. Clear? Hands up if this is clear. Long division. Okay. Write in this way. When dividing polynomials using the long division method, when dividing polynomials using the long division method, there are 2 points that we need to consider. There are 2 points we have to consider. Okay, put a red star mark and write the first point. Red star mark and write the first point in a normal pen. Only the star mark is red. The division always is between the division always is between the leading terms. The division is always in between the leading terms. The leading terms. Which means the leading term of the dividend, which means the leading term of the dividend, leading term of the dividend is divided by the leading term of the divisor. The leading term of the dividend is divided by the leading term of the divisor. Okay, next star mark, next point. Red star mark and write in a blue pen. The division terminates when the degree of the remainder of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. Is less than the degree of the divisor. The division terminates when the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. Okay, first do that example. Take question number 2, do question number in that one. Main question 2, do this question number 1 and do question number 2. First do the example and then do in question number 2, first question and the second question. So you don't have to write these. It's just I have shown to explain. Always make sure when you are subtracting, if it is minus, minus becomes plus. If you are subtracting, minus becomes plus. Just look at the problem, looking at the board, and then do by your own. Do question number 2 even. Don't copy paste the board, Control C, Control V නෙමෙයි. Do it by your own and then do question number 2. Okay, let's see question number 2. X cubed 2x squared plus 5x plus 7 should be divided by x minus 2. So division is always between leading coefficients. So divide these two. X cubed divided by x gives you x squared. When you multiply, it's x cubed minus 2x squared. So when you subtract, these two cancel off. I told you to always be careful when there's a minus here. 2 minus minus 2 gives you 2 plus 2, no? Which is 4. So here it becomes 4. X squared, these two comes down, 5x plus 7. And when 4x squared is divided by x, it's 4x, 1x cancel off. When you multiply, it's 4x squared minus 8x. It's 4x squared minus 8x. Okay, again, subtract. So these two cancel off. 5 minus minus 8. So 5 minus minus gives you 5 plus 8, which is 13. Clear? So 5 plus 8, which is 13x. And 7 comes 13x divided by x. It's 13. And when you multiply 13x, 13 into minus 2 is minus 26. So again, 13x cancel off. 7 minus minus 26 gives you 7 plus 26, which is 33. So how did I end up with 33? It's 7 minus minus 26, which gives you a 33. Okay, hands up who got this correctly. Madi. Let's do one more thing. I need the entire class to do this. Do next one, number 3, properly. Entire class, I need the answer. Silence, silence, silence. Tanika. Uttarone, that's all I need. Answers. Nothing else. I need answers. Next question, number 3. Kadanata. Okay, so third one, hands up if you got the remainder as 67. Okay, good. So when we divide it, x cube divided by x gives you x squared. When you multiply, it's x cube minus 3x squared. So every time when there's a minus, we know minus minus becomes plus. 3 minus minus 3 is 3 plus 3, which gives you 6. 4x plus 1. So 6x squared divided by x gives you 6x. When you multiply, it's 6x squared minus 6 into minus 3 is 18x. So again, 4 minus minus is 4 plus. 4 plus 18 is 22. 22x divided by x is 22. When you multiply, it's 22x minus 66. So which means these two cancel off. 1 minus minus 66 is 1 plus 66, which gives you 67. Okay, hands up who got this remainder, and that answers x squared. Good. Okay. Last time, last morning, can't use phones inside the class. Phone net tarang 11 ne nikang 11 ne. Anyone last morning? So no use of phones in the class. It's okay when you like complete a problem and then you just look at the phone and the message jack pake balne kawulak ne, but videos play කරලා එම අහුවෙන්න එපා. Last morning අර බං අර එන chill උගන්නද්දිත් I need to maintain this, I need to have this discipline, and I'm really good and super chill when you are even good. But අනිත් පැත්තෙන් number 1 is discipline to me. So last morning to the entire class ආය හම්බුනොත් ඒ ෆෝන් එක අරගෙන එලවන්නේ. දීලා එලවන්නේ නැහැ. ෆෝන් එක අරගෙන අම්මව තාත්තට එක්කගෙන කියලා මම ෆෝන් එක දෙන්න. Last morning I'm not taking any action because this is a 2027. But if it is a 2026 or 25 one, they know that they don't even think about doing that because they know what do I do. Okay, always remember, මං කියන chill මං උගන්නද්දි මං තරහ ගන්න ආස නැහැ. මොකද තරහ ගත්තාම එතනින් පස්සේ උගන්නන්න බෑ. දැන් ක්ලාස් එක ඉවරයිනේ. තරහ ගත්තාම එතනින් පස්සේ naturally උගන්නන්න බෑ. මං මාර chill එකේ උගන්නනවා, but I need the discipline to maintain. I need you to maintain the discipline. පොඩි දේවල්. මං කතා කරද්දි විතර ෆෝන් බලන්න බෑ. මේ ෆෝන් එකේ message එක නෙමෙයි, that was playing a damn video. Last morning to the entire class. Okay, so if you have done this, you can get ready to go. Online students, just wait. Don't leave. Okay, first thing. So I need a minari pahak, minari pahak. Okay, additional 5 minutes. So online students are even silence. 5 minutes. So first thing is next week is a holiday. It's anyway Vesak no. And Vesak Dawsi, it's a holiday. We can't have classes, no online classes and nothing. So next week is a proper holiday, and we are meeting. Today is the 6th, no, 6th. We are 13th, and we are meeting on the 20th. Okay, we are making it 20th. Next week holidays. Mother Diaganda. And okay, so some students are not here. Like even in the online class, some students have joined. The students who want, like who couldn't come today, but I'll be uploading today's recording to the group. So make sure like tell your friends. But I make sure that tell your friends to watch the recording and come not next week, week after. Watch the recording. Okay, if not like the Kalinga Ulak in previous 4 weeks, every day when you come as a newcomer, and even though you miss a class and come in the next day, that is okay. You can easily catch the lesson. But every day because we started from a new area. But when you're coming to the class from here onwards, when you come inside in like in between a lesson, it's really hard. You might feel like rocket science, not you. So make sure that tell your friends to watch the recording and come to the class. And in the paper that I have given last week, you can take your papers. The boys' papers are in this side behind, and the girls' papers are in this side. So the thing I need to emphasize: don't think about the mark of that paper, okay? Because some marks are really good. I'll be just calling the top 5 students. Some marks are really good, but some marks were low, but that is totally okay. This mark do not reflect your knowledge or capability to do combined maths at all. Because this one maybe you couldn't manage your time, or maybe like even though I asked you to do that tute and come to the class, you didn't do that, or maybe you are a newcomer. So that mark, just look at the mark, bend the paper, put it in the bag. අම්මට තාත්තට පෙන්නනවත් අවුලක් නැහැ. හරි. පෙන්න අම්මේ මේ බලන්න මට මෙහෙම කියලා පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. If you want you can show it. Okay. But there are wait. පරක්කුනේ මට කියන්න ඕනේ. But there are some exams where I'll be monitoring whether you have showed your marks to parents. Okay, so this one මම කියන එහෙම අවුලක් නැහැ. අම්මට පෙන්නොත් බය වෙයි සමහර ලකුණු. ඒ නිසා but that doesn't reflect that you can't do combined maths. Make a baruna, but we are having a unit test after the end of polynomials. AK, let's go good marks. Okay, this is just a basic mathematical exam one. Okay, even though you got a good mark, forget about it. Even though you got a bad mark, forget about it. But learn the lesson at the unit test. Ilang exam mekedi, you need to get a good mark. Okay, so I'll give this top 5 students. I think she's not here. If she's in the online class, just send a message to the chat. Akila Jifree, she's a private candidate. She has got 87 marks. If you are there in the class, like put a message in the chat. Akila Jifree. Then we have third place, Jasasni Savidya, 91 marks, Lumbini College. Come. අපුඩිය ගන්න පනද උනත් දෙනියෝ දාම් පාසලේ වගේ. Okay, then we have second place, Tanusha Pereira from Visaka Vidyalaya, 93 marks. No silence, medals said the kata karana bෑ. You have to respect the ones who have scored better. Next time you have to be here. Okay, so she has got 93 marks, and we have 2 first places. Both can come. Both have scored 99. Good. One, Rivit Nanakar from Ananda College, and Chenuli Masha from Vishaka Vidyalaya. Okay, good. Yeah, next time I need more boys. Next time I need boys on math class because who was well performing boys. Gender discrimination. But normally, if you take the top 10 list in other classes, it's like 6-4, 7-3 ratio, and sometimes it's even 9-1 ratio of boys. So here girls are dominating. Next time, next exam, I need, I'm not asking like the bias to more like the gender discrimination, but I need more everyone to work more and who performs well in normal. A majority in the maths classes are even like boys. Okay, so that's one I want to emphasize. Next week is holiday. ලකුණු ටික අරගෙන ලියපු paper එක අරගෙන යන්න. දාලා යන්න එපා. මම බලන කවුරුද දාලා යනවද කියලා paper. You have to take the paper, but forget the mark. Just learn the lesson. Newcomers, just stay after the class. I'll talk like 5 minutes, so you can go home. We are done for today. Go home safe.